Welcome back. My name is Kit.
My name's Madison.
I'm Andy.
And I'm Steve.
And this is Streaming Things, Streaming Arcane. I have pushed for this, I think, since I was a little boy, and now it's finally happening. Because
Since you were
I
just
cheated.
a small child playing League of Legends in his basement all by himself.
Me and Sky just down there in the gutter playing League of Legends.
Has anyone here played it?
No.
No.
Okay, good.
Have you?
No.
They wouldn't be welcome here if they had.
I'm honestly shocked. I was expecting one of you guys to have played it.
Steve's giving gamer. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was never a PC gamer, though,
Right.
which is, I think League of Legends is mostly a PC game
It is.
phenomenon, and I was not in that world of PC gaming. I was
It's
always
the
a
mice
console
and
gamer.
the keyboards.
It's for the clickers.
Yeah,
Yes.
just all the Last of Us zombies were like really into it. Yeah.
Steve's more of a duct-taped Nintendo 64 controller guy.
Oh yeah, I know how to blow on cartridges for sure.
That's right. That's right.
Big blow on cartridges guy.
Oh, I'm big. I'm a big blower.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to do this. Old hats that are used to the show know what we're going to do. Talk about our overall thoughts about the show. We'll go around the table each week and discuss in general what we thought. And then we'll go into a scene-by-scene, play-by-play recap. And then we'll wrap it all up with a few fun categories, our favorite moments, our favorite performance, things like that. But the way we're doing Arcane is a little different than the way we do every other show that we cover, because we're covering it in acts. It was the best for time, but also I think it makes the most sense the way that Arcane's plot is structured. Each season is 9 episodes and set into 3-episode sections. And there's a huge time jump between each one and stuff. So it makes sense to cover it in acts. So this episode will be episodes 1 through 3. And next week will be 4 through 6 and so on. Now, I will acknowledge this show did not win the giant poll that was used to predict what we would be covering.
What?
But we've already discussed
The election was stolen.
Blasphemy.
Yeah, there was a little bit of election fraud, but it made sense to us. Arcane is more topical right now. So we're going straight into Midnight Mass right after this. So in 6 weeks? So
Yeah.
not a big deal. Everybody calm down. But here's what I'm
Stay
experiencing.
in line. If you haven't voted yet, stay in line.
You can go home. The voting's over.
What?
What's done is done. But a lot of people in the Discord have never watched Arcane, despite the fact, like some of the co-hosts here are watching Arcane for the first time.
What?
Even though I've been saying to watch the show for 3 years. And none of you listen to me, but now I'm forcing it.
It has not been 3 years. Has it been 3 years?
Yes.
It's quite literally been 3 years.
2021 is when the
Literally.
first season came out.
Over 3 years, yeah. So that's awesome. We get some people experiencing it for the first time, which I can't wait. So that's how this is going to go. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
You can email the show at streamingthingspod@gmail.com. And
Do it.
Also, here's this, okay? Don't be mad at me. This is just how this is going to go.
Don't get hot.
It worked out for Game of Thrones. So this episode is on the main feed. You're listening it here. This is for everybody, all and sundry. If you like this coverage, if you're a huge fan of Arcane and Streaming Things and you want to hear more, Streaming Things will have Arcane coverage on the Patreon only after this episode at patreon.com/streaming things. Next to our Game of Thrones coverage will be Arcane.
Yep. It's bopping over there at Patreon. Get in there. There's a lot of stuff you can get for fun.
Yeah,
Just do it.
just go through the hex gate to the Arcane coverage on the Patreon.
Trust us. We've worked out the kinks of the hex gate. All right.
We got any,
We're good here.
we got any Heimerdinger impersonations coming down the pike?
Well,
You've
maybe.
been working on it, Steve?
I haven't been, but now that you said that, I'm like, well, of course I was going to do that. I don't
Oh
even,
my goodness.
it's not even something I prepared for. It's just in me this whole time.
Yeah, you are the Heimerdinger of the pod.
I know this is an animated TV show, but if there was a puppet in this show, it would be Heimerdinger.
And he's even got the little Pippin the dog
I
with
know.
him all the time.
That
little
looks just
dog.
like
The little
him.
look like, yeah.
It just looks like his like little dumb brother that never got an education. I keep him around.
It's like the Austin Powers mini-me that is just following him around.
Well, they say your dogs take your personality. And
His
stuff.
name is Laverne Troyer.
Oh, RIP. But yeah, let's get in with the Arcane coverage. I'm really excited to hear what everybody thinks. I've been dying to talk about this show publicly for so long. So let's do it. What is everybody's overall thoughts, your history with the show, what it's like rewatching it now? Oh, I guess I should say, by the way, obviously, Madison
Madison!
I love her
I
so
can't believe you buried the lead on that. We got 5 minutes in this episode. Oh, by the way, Madison.
By the way,
Well, I love her so much, and we
guys.
potted so much that I was just like, Madison's here, right? It's business as usual, but
Yeah.
we've never, I don't think, had Andy and Madison on the show at the same time.
We have,
but
haven't
not
had
with
the
you.
4 of us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what-
Yeah, so that's what I'm talking about.
Right, so we did an
Obviously. When I'm
episode-
not here, it
not
doesn't count.
Sandy.
We did an
Hi,
episode
friends.
where it
Good
was
to see you.
myself, Madison, and Andy and covering Yesterday, the movie
Yeah.
Yesterday, and you were gone. But
Famously
yes,
love that movie.
this is the first time the 4 of us have ever been on a podcast together. This is a
Just
monumental
the 4
moment.
of us.
So give it any second and the cameras are going to crash. So
We can make it Kit, Madison, and Andy.
Yeah, we try. Yeah, and I'm Steve.
And I'm Steve.
Yeah, kind of buried the lead there. It's going to be different. The vibe's weird already for me with 4, but these 4, this 4,
This crew,
it's a foursome that
For
can never be
sure.
matched.
For sure.
4-way with onions.
the quadruple you never knew you wanted.
That's right. That's right. But Madison, what is your history with Arcane, and what was it like watching it this time?
So my history, I can't remember who recommended it or how I started watching it, but I just remember I started with the first couple of episodes and I could not pull away. I just was like, oh my gosh, I'm so captured by this show. And I want to say I binged it in like 2 days. And this was in, I think, tail end of 2021. So I was like, probably like everybody else, I was like, are they coming out with the season 2? When is that going to happen? And then I would Google and I wouldn't find any news. And it just was like prolonged. And I remember I was more than encouraging of other people to watch it. And yeah, I just fell in love with the show immediately. Having to rewatch it, and because obviously when you're watching something, you're not taking notes, but for this show, I'm like, taking notes and being more hyper aware of like the scenery and the cinematography and stuff. I'm falling in love with it even more because I'm like, wow, the attention to detail is literally insane. But I'm super excited to cover the show. It's one of my favorite shows to exist. I can't say nothing but great things about it. And yeah, that's what I got to say.
Fuck yeah. Andy, the prodigal son who's finally watching Arcane.
I had never heard of the show until we decided to cover it.
Oh my God.
You
I
never
motherfucker.
Nobody even brought it up to me, not once.
You motherfucker.
Wow.
So I'm real disappointed in you guys for never recommending that I watch
Wow. Yeah, shame on you
I
guys.
think Chris is dying inside right now.
it. No, obviously, Kid has been telling me to watch the show forever. And I did watch the first episode years ago and didn't remember a lick of it. And I don't know why I didn't keep up with it. Everybody said back then, and it's very true, that if you can get through the first 3 episodes, that like it gets its hooks in you, because the show does take a little time, like getting its feet under it. Obviously by the end of this episode, like that's when like some serious turns happen and the story becomes the story that people know and love. I think that in these first couple episodes, they focus a lot on establishing character, and that's great. And all of the characters are phenomenal and people that you care about. And I think they do an exceptionally good job of that. They struggle a little bit establishing the political dynamic, at least at first. Opening with a war-torn sequence is cool, but I spent a long time being like, so what happened? What's the story here? What's going on? And eventually, in this first act, when they kind of reveal what I think is the most fascinating part of this story, it's the good guys lost story. And I think that that's fucking phenomenal. It's like reveals that Vander's like this revolutionary that failed. And I think dealing with the aftermath of that in a world that's about to be turned upside down with the introduction to magic, it gives really big Game of Thrones vibes, which is obviously way up my fucking alley. The show kicks ass. The animation is unbelievably good. And it's so fucking like tragic and funny. And every shot looks like a painting. Like it's a fantastic show. I just wish that it was based on a property that I could go interact with. I'm never going to play League of Legends. I don't like MOBAs. The community over there, I hear, is less than welcoming. And I want to spend more time in this world out, not just in the story. So I think there's like an MMO coming sometime soon. That'll be sweet. I'm definitely going to play that.
There's a 2v2 fighting game in the works with our League of
really?
Legends
Oh, that'll be
characters.
great.
That will be cool.
Okay, that'll be fun.
But I would love an RPG with these characters. I would lose my mind.
Yeah, absolutely. Like a big open world, like a fucking Fable kind of thing would be incredible because I love this world and I really want to look up the game and play it and stuff just to like, see the little references. Like when they're walking through the Undercity and stuff, you get all these hype shots of like the different creatures and stuff. And I bet the players are losing their minds like, oh, that's the thing from the thing. And I don't get any of that. But also Chris said like, don't look up the game because it's going to spoil who these characters become and stuff. And I know absolutely nothing about this story. Nothing has been spoiled for me whatsoever.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't the game like the story of these characters isn't ingrained in the game at all? It's just the place itself is.
Well, several of the characters are in the game.
Yes.
I think so. The game. Someone described to me the game as like, think of it as like Super Smash Brothers. Like all these characters have a backstory and have lore and all that's set up in canon, but the game itself is not a story or canon.
It's not a campaign-driven game.
Correct.
Yeah.
So like I was trying to look
Mm-hmm.
up which characters were in the game, and I did have something spoiled for me regarding one of the characters. Like, oh, that's where that character ends up. Dang. So I have that spoiled for me, but but like a bunch of them, like. It's kind of funny, like if you play as Vi, a lot of times players will team Vi up with Caitlyn because they're like a good gameplay wise, they're a good pairing. And so it's fun to see them paired up in the TV shows. So it's stuff like that. I don't think if you really want to know more about the lore and everything, but you're invested in this TV show, wait until you finish the TV show because this is kind of like a prequel-esque type situation. But they do play a little fast and loose with some of the lore as far as from what I understand.
And we should say, so Andy's watching it for the first time, obviously. And Steve, you've seen all of season 2, right, as well?
No.
Okay, so
I've only
Madison
seen
and
the
I
first season.
have seen the entire show a few times.
I've seen it more than a few times. I've seen it quite a few times.
Wow. And Steve, so you're watching season 2 will be for the first time when we get there.
Right, because we were thinking of covering season 2 for the pod, but then that went away. But we had always kind of like, well, we're going to revisit it.
You wanted to save the juice?
So I was saving the juice for this
So
coverage.
we can't spoil anything
my
beyond what we're covering each
Okay,
week.
that is so good to know. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
But
I wanted to keep her from dropping bombs,
Yeah, but I watched season 1 shortly after because Kit, you were telling us, guys, you got to watch this. You got to watch this. You got to watch this. So I watched it maybe like a month or so after it had completed its run on Netflix. And I booted up the first episode. It starts off the way it does. I'm like, oh, that's kind of dark. And then Imagine Dragons hits. I'm like, fuck off. and then the show started back up. I'm like, okay, this is colorful. I'm kind of into it. And then there was another music needle drop that hit. And I'm like, this is so corny. I hate this. And so I was texting. Remember, I texted you like, dude, I don't know if this show's for me. Like, I'm not feeling this at all. And you're like, dude, just stick to at least the third episode. I'm like, all right, whatever. I'll give you that. Kit Laser never steers me wrong. I'll give him that. And then
Take notes, Andy.
and boy, howdy, I got to the end of the third episode. I'm like, what the fuck? Because I thought I knew what this show was. Like for the first 3 episodes, I'm like, I get it. Like, it's just a bunch of angsty kids who are like, I have problems. Wah. And then, then the third episode hit. I'm like, oh fuck, they got problems. Holy shit. And then the show becomes what the show is. And it's dark, it's gritty. I think the art style might not be everyone's cup of tea, but the animation of that art style is fucking phenomenal. Like we recently covered the Iron Giant on Patreon, and there was a story where Brad Bird was so happy. There's a scene in the Iron Giant where Hogarth is running away from the Iron Giant and a branch clotheslines him and he falls. And Brad Bird was saying like he was so proud during test screenings that the audience went, ooh! They reacted as if an animated character was a real character getting clotheslined by a tree. I think of that shot specifically and then think of the physicality that's animated in this show, and just Brad Bird would be like weeping, I think, because this show is, you feel every punch, every jump. Like sometimes when these characters jump across buildings and land, I'm like, those knees aren't going to last. They got to take care of their knees. That's not good. But it's really, really well done. And then obviously the voice cast is amazing in the show. Like everyone's a hit. Everyone's stellar.
Yeah, we're finally finishing the Ella Purnell trifecta here on streaming
We
things.
really are.
Yeah. It's just, I know a couple people in the Discord were like, man, like they finished episode 3 and they're like, I thought this was a fun animated TV show, and I was just sending them the gif of Tyrion from Game of Thrones going like, you've come to the wrong place. this is a dark TV show.
Yeah, this is pain and
Yeah.
sadness personified.
Yeah, and Imagine Dragons. So like there you go.
I had the same gut reaction when Imagine Dragons started. I'm like, oh, what are we doing? And then I was like, okay.
So-
The misery. I'm like, all right.
I have a theory that I think I told Steve. I was talking to you.
You told me this.
This is my theory. It's not much of a theory, but it's kind of like obvious. But I don't think people like theme songs for shows as much as they think they do. I think they love the show and they just kind of in a Pavlovian way develop a love for the theme song, right?
Like the Game of Thrones theme song isn't that great, but we love Game
I
of
mean, now
Thrones, and
Steve's
it's a bop.
saying things hot right now.
That's what it sounds like. What you're
That's
saying.
a hot take. He's talking
but
about
I
like the
agree
ring
with-
brands.
no. Sure. He's talking about the Friends song.
Well,
I would
that's
skip
a
that
bop.
song if it just came on the radio.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
No
like,
one told you that was
100%. And the same
Little
things happen.
boxes on the
If you're in 1998 and fucking listen to 107.2 and dun, 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 just drops, you're going to be real confused, right? But because Game of Thrones is such a great show, everybody's marching down the streets, like this is a bop, guys. And they're like, is it? But it is because you love the show, okay? So with that in mind, I have to say, I don't skip this intro and I fucking love it. Oh, I fucking bop to it every time.
I gotta say, so after I watched this series for the first time, season 1, I made that song my walk-up song for summer softball.
Goddamn right.
Hell yeah.
Look out for yourself.
Literally, and it was really cool. I loved it. It's still on my like workout playlist because I really like the song, and I like the entire soundtrack from season 1 and now season 2.
I agree. I also listen to the Arcane soundtrack every time I'm at the gym.
Imagine Dragons is like the modern day like Nickelback. Like everyone makes fun of Imagine Dragons in the way they make fun of Nickelback, but I'll say
Nickelback fucking slaps too.
I like Imagine Dragons better than Nickelback. I'll just say that.
And Creed, people are just lying. Dude, that song, welcome to this place, like it gives me chills and shit, even though I'm aware of how corny it is.
It's like it's not cool to make fun of Nickelback or Creed anymore. It's just like we've
So that's become
surpassed
Imagine
it.
Dragons,
Yeah.
It's funny. So for Christmas this year, Erica's boys got like a phone. It's a big deal. They got a phone, but it's a
They got one to share,
well, no, they each got one.
so that's going to be problems.
My turn to text.
I want to talk to
does it
someone.
dispense bubble gum?
Does it dispense? But I wish my phone did that.
For real.
You
but no,
remember
download
those
the
toy
update.
phones that you
Yeah.
got gum out of?
Oh yeah,
I was
I
4.
do remember those. Yeah.
Or it had the little circle candies and like the top flip phone.
Yeah.
I had 2 cups and a string, no gum.
Ball in a cup. Go play ball in a cup. But they got they got their Gab phones, and there's this music service on the Gab phones where like there's a bunch of music on there, and through like AI or something, it edits out bad words so they can just like bop. And one of the boys,
Kids bop.
Karen's like, "Hey Steve, you want to have a music party with me?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's do it. Let's jam." He just had Radioactive over and over again by Imagine Dragons. So like the first time it's playing, we're all like, like jamming together, and then it's like,
Let's do it again.
and then it starts going again. Like, okay, he really likes this song, and then like 4 hours, we're like, dude, come on, they have more than this song.
Yeah. Like, so
Radioactive.
Imagine Dragons were really popular when I was in early high school. So like my connection to music from high school is just, it reminds you of like your cringe self. So at first I was a little apprehensive of Imagine Dragons, but now that I'm older and more mature, I do enjoy some Imagine Dragons. And then Radioactive is a bop. We love Radioactive.
She would like to come to your next music party, is what she's saying.
Please, yeah.
This show,
We can tag in and out like WWE.
Yeah,
It's my turn now.
you'll be so happy to have someone else to jam Imagine Dragons with.
this show and these first 6 episodes have such good needle drops and introduced me to these new artists, and I'm like, ooh, what the fuck is that? Like, and I think it's the end of episode 2. There's such a banger track, and it sounded like Rufus Wainwright. vocally, and I was like, "Oh fuck, did they get Rufus
I know what you're
Wainwright for
talking
this?"
about.
But it wasn't him; it was some dude named Curtis Harding, and I started listening to his shit, and I'm like, "This dude fucking rocks."
Yeah.
And then
Rufus
there's
is in Hallelujah by
Yeah,
Shrek.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, from Shrek. Yeah. okay.
He has all kinds of great music. Super talented dude. But and then
That's
guy
your,
from Shrek?
That's your cultural touchstone. The guy from Shrek.
We all know my cultural touches are very minimal.
Shrek is love.
From
Shrek
Ghost
is
Ship?
life. From Ghost Ship.
Maybe Carl Urban? Yeah, Ghost Ship.
We were doing The Boys, and we were trying to explain who Carl Urban was, and she was like, "Oh, the guy from Ghost Ship."
who the fuck is Ghost Ship? I haven't seen Ghost Ship like in
That's what
20
Madison-
years.
That's why it was so funny.
Not
Like,
Lord of the
all
Rings,
the
not
movies he's
Dread.
been in. Ghost Ship.
Ghost Ship.
Although I'll never forget the cover of that. It was iconic.
It was a
Like,
good
I
poster.
It was a great poster. Yeah.
You knew exactly what it was. Didn't even need to put
Yeah.
the title
It's
on
a
it.
ghost
You know
ship.
what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
it's right there. Like, the graphic designer was like, "Fucking nailed it."
It was either what they made or
Killed
they
it.
would put like a white sheet with eye
Oh my
holes
God.
over a goat.
So, but I'm with Andy because a lot of people have said what Steve has said, which is, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but essentially that the needle drops are occasionally abrasive.
They get better after the first
I have
two
heard that
episodes.
criticism,
for me.
and I could not disagree more. Every time it happens, I'm like, fuck yeah. I'm an easy mark.
Like, I'm curious to know, like, which needle drops in particular you're talking about.
Oh, it's the first Imagine Dragons,
okay.
but I will say,
What about the diegetic one?
That does grow on me. Oh, the diegetic one actually is awesome. By the time the diegetic one hits, I'm like, okay, I'm all in. On right? I'm owing the misery.
Yeah.
But the other needle drop, I think it's in the first episode, is the "Welcome to the Playground" song, and it was like, okay, come on, I know.
That's the title of that.
Yeah.
Get
it's a little-
over yourself. But
a little on the
then
nose.
that's after like I watched the rest of the series. I'm like, yeah, I should get over myself.
But I love this show, as you can tell, as I've said many times over the last few years. I watched it a couple of weeks after it first came out because the way Arcane releases is strange for Netflix. They'll release it in acts. So every Saturday for 3 successive weeks, they dropped 3 episodes at a time. And I think Carissa, my wife, and I hopped in on the second or maybe even third week during the pandemic, the end of the pandemic. And we were instantly hooked, but I am aware when I do recommend so even though I didn't need to finish episode 3 to be hooked, I did that's when it was like, oh my God, they did a thing. You know what I mean? This is a completely different show. They set you up and they teed it off in a way that I thought was fresh and really mature and exciting. And so I've recommended it to everybody that way. Like, watch the first 3. If you don't like it after 3, don't even call me back. Like, I don't want to be friends with you. You know what I mean? Like, that's how strongly I feel about it. Like, we disagree too much about how the world works, I think, to continue speaking. But this show, from an animation perspective, like Andy talked about, is phenomenal. I mean, it was $250 million to make the 2 seasons together. Somewhere around there, it's estimated. One of the most expensive animated projects of all time. And for once, you can see it.
Yeah.
You can tell. You said some of these frames look like a painting. Some of the frames are paintings. That's how fucking detailed they are. There's a whole sequence in season 2 that is hand-drawn charcoal only. They do all kinds of mixed media, 2D and 3D and hand-drawn. It's so layered and meticulously detailed and catered to each character and kind of like the emotions they're feeling in that moment. And like Madison
Like
was
Jinx
saying,
gets a lot of like rotoscoping sort of stuff
because
going
she's
on.
got that kind of schizophrenic trauma going
Yeah.
on. And it's so meticulously detailed that on successive rewatches, there's not only so many Easter eggs to the game that I only get from doing research because none of us have played the game, but references to itself later on and things that are set up, like watching these first 3 episodes and realizing what is brought back, specific lines or specific shots that come full, like it was all planned out. Like in season 2, 3 years later, remember a lot of these lines, and it'll be a throwaway. It'll be 6 frames of an airship or something or whatever.
A Zeppelin,
Yeah, that is referenced to one of these first 3 episodes. I got choked up.
3
So
episodes.
passionate.
It's
They
so
were throwaway
good.
lines, but they meant something to me, damn it.
I can honestly say without hyperbole that this is one of my top 3 favorite things, movies or shows of all time. Like I broke into sobbing tears watching these first few episodes again, partially because I know things that happen, but partially just because they hit in the moment. Like I care so much about these characters. They do such a good job. There are like 13 or 14 people that get complete, dense, satisfying arcs throughout these 2 seasons that we get. And that's just an amazing thing. Like I'm talking like Walter White level journey of their character. And there's like 14 of them in this show that get that kind of love and attention. And it's amazing. I just love it so much. And this world is vast, like Andy pointed out. Like I didn't know until I started doing research because they mostly stay in Piltover throughout the run of this show. Piltover is a fucking dot. It'd be like with Game, because we've talked about Game of Thrones a lot. They make this entire vast show about King's Landing. And then you start going...
I thought you'd be like a entire vast show of Moat Kalen.
Well, whatever, but that wouldn't be the best analogy. But and then you do research when the show's done and find out about the rest of Westeros. There's an Essos? You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy how big this world is, and we never get to see 98% of it. And I can't wait for the other spinoffs and stuff that they do. But it sucks that they take so long to make these because they are so meticulously detailed. That it's like, I almost delete it from my brain when I'm going to get some more action from this universe, because it's like, takes fucking forever to make this stuff, dude.
Good animation takes a long time.
Yeah, Riot Games, crazy good work. I love you so much.
I think I did see something where, because Riot Games is, to your point, it's like the most expensive animated show and all that stuff, but they haven't gotten any sort of return on people who watch the TV show are like, oh, that's a great show. I'm not going to play that game. Like there hasn't been a lot of people going back to play the game.
Well, the people that play the game actively tell other people not to. If you
not to play
I
the
didn't
game.
know that there was this much
Yes.
gatekeeping with the League of Legends game.
There was there's a massive fashion influencer. His name is Wisdom, and he's great on TikTok. But if you're in America, you can't see him anymore. Do you
know
follow
who you're talking
Wisdom?
about.
Yeah, Wisdom's great. And he said, I've never watched Arcane. I'm going to make a whole fashion line dedicated to Arcane and what the characters would wear. And he's a fucking genius at doing this stuff. His whole shtick is like, make an outfit that's exactly $120,000 and he'll do it. And he'll like, I went ahead and made one that's also $1,200 and I made one that's $120. And like anyway, the editing of his videos is fantastic. But
Shameless plug.
He's going to do an Arcane series. And he's like, I'm going to watch the show, but I'm also going to play the games. And he's a massive influencer. So he has 20,000 comments on that video. And 18,000 of them are people going, please, for the love of God, do not play the game. And he was so confused that he made that a whole shtick follow-up series. And I've seen series of people going, the one comedian I love is, he did a series when Arcane was super popular and fresh going, I'm going to play League of Legends until I find a toxic character. And he would always only make it like 17 seconds.
Yeah.
He would like the lobby would start and he'd be like, all right, guys, let's do the best we can. Have fun. And somebody would go, fucking loser, shut the fuck up immediately. All right, guys, that's the end of the video. And it was like a whole thing he started doing because those people are terrible. I don't know what's wrong with them, but it makes Call of Duty look like a convent.
Yeah, because I feel like of all of the video game like adaptations, such as Fallout and, I don't know. It just seems like the video game world is very welcoming in that world. But like for this one in particular, I don't know. The friends that I have that played this game and I was like talking to them about it, they're like, yeah, like it's, I don't know, not like my favorite game. So I don't know. Maybe it's
I don't
just
like MOBAs anyway.
Yeah.
That's my thing.
It's a very meticulous type of game. So
I mean, when you said that they're making a 2-on-2 fighting game,
I was
like, that sounds perfect, like a Marvel versus Capcom style game, but with these characters, I would be all over that shit.
What's the studio that makes like Injustice and the other one and stuff?
NetherRealm?
Yeah, like if they did that, that'd be so fucking cool.
Yeah, Ed Boon. Do us a favor,
get
my
on
guy.
that shit.
Give us a boon.
Yeah.
Whoopsie.
I do think the League of Legends subtitle is what keeps so many people from watching the show, because it says Arcane League of Legends, and it's like, no thanks. It looks dumb, right? It does. Yeah, I don't know why we clicked it the day that we clicked it, but we did, and I'm so glad we did. It has nothing to do with the game. It's just amazing. One of the best shows I've ever.
Yeah, and it is a great show. And I know I was doing a fireside chat on Discord this weekend, and somebody was like, is that a League of, like, you guys are covering that show, but it's a League of Legends thing, right? Is like kind of really confused, like, ew, gross.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, I mean, it is, but like, not really. Like,
Right. It's hard to explain. Like for the last few years, now that season 2 really blew the show open, I think at least, or maybe the algorithm was just working, but it really felt like a lot of people were watching the second season.
Tuning into it.
But for years saying, hey, the League of Legends show is one of the best shows of all time was a really credibility risky thing to say, but it was the truth.
When I first watched the show, I don't ever remember associating it with a video game. I think someone had to tell me that it was based off of a video game, and maybe that's just I'm out of the loop with the video game world, but like truly I had no connection to this show being
I knew people that played League when I was in high school, I think, right? Like it was it was like the weird anime friends though, but like they played League and I was like, "Oh, neat. Good for you." You know, but I didn't think about it much.
welcome, kids.
Welcome, kids. Would you like a beverage? Nah, man, my mom told me to come over here.
I mean, this is there are some like there are some very video gamey things in the show. Like there's literally like, here, drink this pink liquid and you become like a big beefed up super fast monster. It's like eating the Mario star, right? For all of us olds. But like the way it's handled in the show, it's like horrifying and grotesque and like, ooh, this is really scary. It's not like like they kind of take stuff that's like video gamey.
I wish they would.
Yeah.
And they make it as grounded, real, and kind of strange and off-putting as possible in a
Let's keep
weird
picturing
way.
Deckard going. He's got the feather.
When Vander punches, it's like.
Anyway, so excited to be doing this. Are you guys ready to get into the meat and taters of this recap?
Let's dive in.
Let's talk about everything. We're going to go through the first 3 episodes. There will be spoilers throughout for episodes 1 through 3. And again, the rest of the show will take place on patreon.com/streamingthings if you'd like this. Before we get in, though, we're going to take a brief break to hear from one of our sponsors. This episode of Streaming Things is sponsored by BetterHelp.
BetterHelp.
You know, Steve, there's something I need to get off my chest.
What's that, fella?
It's been weighing on me. You know that I resigned at the day job recently, right? And I've been a little scared. There's a family to worry about. There's health insurance. There's capitalism.
Sounds like a stressful time.
But we all carry around different stressors, big and small. And it feels better when you bring something to the light and keep them bottled up. It can start to affect us negatively. And therapy is a safe space to get things off your chest and to figure out how to work through whatever's weighing you down. In my case, it's all of the stress, the misery, the fear. But I had to come over here and share that with you, and I felt better. You know, that's a real thing that happened.
Yeah.
Unloading all that on you and Erica and feeling better myself.
That sounds like my Friday night.
Sometimes you just need somebody to listen. So if you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. If you're not vibing, that's completely fine. So get it off your chest with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/streamingthings to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/streamingthings. We're back. Let's dive into the recap. It starts with episode 1. Welcome to the Playground, Steve's favorite song. And the whole show starts out, there's like a child singing a scary post-apocalyptic looking bridge. We don't know what's going on. There's an explosion. We see an enforcer, which we don't know yet, but it's one of the cops from Piltover. There's dead bodies.
They look like the Hellghast from Killzone. Do you remember them?
Oh,
yeah,
Andy
dude.
played Killzone.
Killzone kicked
I remember
ass,
that
man.
trailer was like a sniper always. There's like a bullet flying through a bunch of places and then hitting a guy.
Oh, shit. I know what you're talking about.
But I never played the game, but I remember
and
that.
it was like fucking "Hello, darkness, my old friend." Like it was like
Simon
some
and
trailer
G?
like that. Yeah, dude. It was a cool trailer.
Simon, this is Garfunkel. I've got the shot.
There's Vander.
Trouble water.
Vander's beating a dude to death, and Vi and Powder, as young children, just stand and watch. And Powder's probably 3 or 4 at the time. And they see that their mother is dead, and Vander sees them, seeing the body, drops his gauntlets to pick them up and take them to safety. He kind of comes back to himself like, fuck. And he goes to comfort them. The enforcers go back to Piltover.
I love the animation of the scene, like in specifically when like child Vi sees their parents are dead and she starts breaking down, and it cuts to little Powder watching her big sister break down.
He doesn't kind of comprehend yet. Yeah,
you can tell like she doesn't understand the weight of the situation, but watching her sister cry like breaks her world.
Yeah.
And that's
sad?
heartbroken.
Are we
that's
sad?
Oh, it's awful.
But it's just a really good because these characters haven't said a word, but immediately we know the dynamic. We know, Vi is clearly this protective older sister. I mean, I think Powder and them, they walk up and Powder's like hand over the eyes, singing. I'm sure Vi told her to do that to mask.
Don't look.
Yeah. And then, Vi taking the responsibility of like checking this around it. Like, it's you can already tell so much about these characters immediately. And I love it. Love it.
I think Andy has a good point as a newcomer that the politics of this world and some of the layers of what's going on isn't maybe super readily available to a newcomer. But I one of the things that I love about this show is that it does show and not tell a ton of important things. It really trusts its audience, and a lot of those meticulous layers that we talked about that are really rewarding on different rewatches, they just leave them there for you to find. And they should, like, for me, as a writer or a storyteller, I'm always the douche that's like, you see what I did there? That's fucking dope,
Look
right?
at that.
It's tilt over because they're over the other people.
I'm definitely the Rick and Hale of writers. And I
The middle of industry is dust.
and I think that I really respect the show for the way that it does that and just leaves that there for you. And it does make rewatching specifically really rewarding. But my notes here are, we got to talk about the theme song, which we already did. I'm glad we got that out of the way.
Oh, the misery.
My notes say title sequence, Imagine Dragons. Okay, that's cool.
Right? It grows on you pretty quick. But then we cut to Vi and the gang. We don't know how much time has passed. It never says on each of these time cuts, but it's been 5 years, I think, at least.
Yeah,
Something like that. I think I would pin Vi to be 16, 17. And I think
Yes.
Powder is maybe 12, 13 years old. Something like that.
And we meet Clagger and Milo. They're brothers. They're adopted brothers, right?
Are they brothers?
Well, they're found family.
Oh, okay.
They're not
family.
related at all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. When you said that, I'm like, I missed that completely.
Like they're
You
all.
didn't see them talking to
I
their
want to
parents?
see their weird ass parents.
The four of them, Vander is their dad,
Okay.
but like not really for
Okay.
any of them,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But they're climbing the rooftops of Piltover. They're on a job, right? We see an airship fly overhead.
A dirigible, if you will.
It's an airship. We don't want to get into this argument. Sorry, I'm not as educated as you, as the cops say later.
I just love that everyone's
Word.
it's an airship, dirigible, zeppelin. Like, I just love throwing those words in there interchangeably.
Yeah, but they're all different. There's subtle nuances,
Yeah.
Steve,
They are.
as we get a discussion with Caitlin
I love
later.
pissing off nerds.
I'm also a big steampunk fan.
Same.
Canadian. Okay, I was
Yeah.
going to say, like, that's
Love the gears and fucking the art direction. These people paid a lot of attention to Arcane Studios, the Dishonored series. Like, all of the character
Oh, yeah.
design is plucked right out of that. It's fucking fire.
really.
Oh yeah,
I never played Dishonored either.
good
I was
shit.
going to say this opening sequence. I mean, I was an Assassin's Creed person, but it was giving, the Assassin's Creed jumping from rooftop to rooftop. And with the steampunk mention, it reminded me a lot of Assassin's Creed Syndicate, which I really liked
Yeah.
that one.
And when they fall 300 feet into a hay bale,
Yeah.
I was like,
You gotta look for the eagle because that lets you know
Exactly.
where to jump.
And then when they flash forward and it's present day, it's so fucking dumb.
We don't care about Desmond's story.
Yeah, I was going to say.
that's true. It's so true. But then we get Powder says, one day I'm going to ride one of those things. And I think it's Milo. It's like, one day I'm going to blow one up. What a dick, right? But they jump to another roof and now it's Powder's turn. And they kind of clock early on the dynamic of this group is that she's not really ready to hang with them, but Vi's trying to include her, and Milo and Clagger resent it, Milo specifically. And Vi's always there to encourage her, right? Like, what did I tell you? I'm ready. And then she does this like crazy parkour shit that like no adult could do. And you're
I'm
like,
not ready.
oh my God. Oh my God. Don't do that. What a terrible sister. But Vi catches her before she fucking dies. Thank God. But they're on a special big job. Okay. They're at this penthouse in Piltover. The balcony's locked. Milo knows how to pick locks, but he's taking too long. So Vi just kicks it in.
That was really funny.
I love that.
It's a great joke, but also like there's such good characterization throughout. Like you already get the vibe of like Vi is impatient. She's a bit of a brute. And she's not here for any bullshit, right? Like you know everything you need to know about all four of these characters pretty immediately just from showing. And I love it
Yes.
so much. But inside there's all kinds of weird Goodwill Hunting equations and stuff. The janitor's in there working on shit. Must be an inventor. They
You have a
find
gift.
Stellan Skarsgård's in there fucking putting around. Only 3 people can tell the difference between you and me. Get out of here, dude. But Powder finds the crystals, the blue crystals that seem really unstable and pretty. And they found out about this apartment from a tip from Little Man. But we don't know who Little Man is.
Wee Man's out there dropping tips for people.
Powder finds a sandwich. She's my spirit animal. Like, she's going to stop in the middle of the job.
That's so fair. She's like, I just jumped this rooftop. I'm so hungry.
Well, she's so poor that they don't eat often.
Yeah.
But also, like, in general, I would still be like,
You need
nice.
to carb up.
Yeah, you got to carb
It's
up.
so fresh. It was
Wonder
just
what kind
sitting
of
there.
sandwich that was. It looked like it had meat on it.
Probably turkey.
Yeah, the way that she like bites it and that like meat or whatever that kind of like stretches and flaps out of it. I'm like,
Bologna?
that's not how
Ew.
physics works, but I'm in.
I would say
Do
it was a turkey.
Ooh, you don't fuck with bologna?
Not regularly.
You don't fuck with
You
the war?
fuck with bologna?
Bologna?
I love bologna. With a Kraft single on top.
You don't eat
Oscar
fried
Mayer?
bologna? Yeah, but and she finds a whole chest of those gems that they found in the other room. She's like, ooh, everybody's going to love and appreciate and respect me because of this find that I've had. Everything's going to work out. But then someone, whoever owns the apartment, comes home. We hear them on the other side of the door. Quickly, Milo bars the door and they all panic. Powder drops one of the gems. It hits the wall and fucking explodes.
Mm-hmm.
Very surprising. Andy, were you surprised?
I was so surprised.
Right? It's like, oh my God, things are escalating.
It's a little bomb.
Alarms go off throughout the city. They're spotted and they have to run. And there's this fun chase sequence where they keep throwing, I don't know what those are called, but it's like
The little string
yeah,
thing.
like ninjas use those, but I don't know what they're called.
Yeah, I forget what they're called. I think they begin with a B, but I
Sure.
don't know for sure what they're called.
I wouldn't bother looking it up. Email streamingthingspod@gmail.com.
Some weapons expert out there will let us know.
They keep missing them and they
Aren't
try
they
to raise the
stormtroopers?
bridge on them. Raising the bridge was a bad move because they were so close. It just created a problem for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one dude died.
I know. I like how people
That dude's
just
dead.
die and you're like, oh.
Oh, fuck.
I was under the impression he fell on the ship that was directly underneath.
Yeah, but it was like
That's
80
even worse.
feet.
Oh, yes, yeah, that's true.
Beat the water,
Like,
he
when
might have had a chance.
If he's not dead, he's paralyzed.
When it does the wide shot, you're like, oh, fuck. Poor Gary. Like, God, he just wanted to be a cop, get a nice pension. That was
real.
his last day.
His
He's
wife
gonna,
divorced him. His kids don't talk to him.
he's going to retire after this. All I got to do. Yeah. And then everybody else is turning in their guns and badges. The mayor's pissed.
But like immediately during this chase scene, the animation's so good. Like there's a part where they're trying to round a corner and some of them are like slamming into the wall to make the turn, and another person kind of like does like a little skid move to slide around it. The animation of the physicality of this chase scene, immediately you're cued in like, oh, this is on another level. This is so good.
Yeah, it like you keep mentioning the physicality, and that's something I've never like pegged, but it hits.
What
you
else
know?
have you pegged?
None of your business. Oh. And so they have to go down a doo-doo tunnel. It's like a garbage chute, Star Wars kind of thing. But Milo's, I just got this shirt, right?
I don't care what you smell. Get in there, furball.
And they give Powder shit when they get down there. Like, God, you're always fucking shit up. I knew we shouldn't have brought you. And she's like, leave me alone. But they get back down to the Undercity this is the first time we're seeing it. And Deckard sees them. He's been...
From Blade Runner?
Yes. But then again, who died? It's weird because on the rewatch... I've clocked for the first time that Silco had Deckard following somebody who was not Vi in the gang, and I still don't know who that is, and I've never really paid attention before because he gets yelled at later. We'll get there when we get there, but I just put a flag in that and be thinking about that. But he sees them. I heard about some action over in Piltover, which word travels really fucking fast. We're learning.
Yeah.
And
Seriously.
he wants the loot,
That's a
right?
gossipy town.
Milo's like, yeah, we got a good haul. And Vi's like, you stupid bitch, right? And then Vi gives him a taste. Because
Fist.
Vi doesn't put up with any shit, right? You want to taste? And then they whoop ass. They go a good little kid gang fight. How did
Dude, Claggor like is a wrecking machine, man. He's taking on two at a time. At one point, someone tries to like do that jumping Superman punch thing to him, and he's just like, no, and just kicks him away.
How do you feel like Papa from Stranger Things would feel about this child fight, though?
I would give it a 25 out of 3. Holy shit. That Claggor, he's He's
Specimen.
a whole lot of beef in that ring. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they went straight WWE when it cuts to Clagger. He's like suplexing them and shit.
Milo's got someone in the camel clutch.
But Powder's there just holding the bag of loot, hiding, and then one of them gets his ass knocked out and then sees her as he's down bleeding, and he's like, nice.
She powders.
She does. She runs off. Deckard loses, but then pulls a knife, and Vi is so fucking gangster. You want to see how that ends? Voiced by Haley Steinfeld, whom I also love. So that's
Queen.
Queen.
Love
Big
her.
fan of Bumblebee and the remake of True Grit, me personally.
Bumblebee is awesome.
Bumblebee rocks!
It's the best Transformers movie.
Well, that's a hot take, and I'm not going to protest.
My personal fave, Dickinson, but
I didn't see the show. She's not talking about Transformers. There's not an obscure Transformers.
I was just about to say, like, I haven't seen Transformers.
sorry.
Dickinson.
The Apple TV show Dickinson, starring Haley Steinfeld.
I say, Starscream, will you accompany me to the ball?
Dickinson, you're at it again.
They're more than machines.
More than meets the eye.
I say.
Oh, that's what it is. Damn.
It would have been so funny. It was right there.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah, but Powder is still running from that guy. She tries to use one of her little homemade bombs, Mauser. It does not function correctly. And she ends up just dropping the loot in the water, like, don't beat me up, which is fair. She's 12, you know? I would definitely ditch the loot as well.
You know, as it's funny you say that, because as I was watching this, I was thinking, you know, if streaming things got into a fight, Kit would totally be the person like, and just throws the loot into the river.
What?
I think he just called you a bitch.
I don't understand where this I will take a lot of shit on this show. But I think I'm the only one on this show that's been to prison. Why am I Powder? That's bullshit.
Because you know and you don't want to go back. That's why.
I resent that guy. I don't know where this is coming from. That's the most shocking thing Steve has ever said. I'll take getting my cheeks
beat me
clapped. I'll be the horny guy. I'll be a lot of things, but I'm not going to be the show's bitch. I don't understand where that come from at all. I'm shocked.
Andy's obviously Clagger.
Oh, you know.
Madison's Vi, of
He's
course.
the demo
Oh,
expert.
thank you.
I'm the Milo, getting my ass kicked, but I'm putting some licks in.
Really? Okay. I'll be Powder. Specifically later when I'm
Powder
Jinx.
keeps
Yeah, I was
Damn
going to
it.
say. She
But
evolves.
The gang's upset about the loot, except Vi. She's very supportive. Like, get off her back. She's always defending her sister. They go back down to the Undercity, and we see the lanes, right? Like this little area of the Undercity founded by Vander, where everybody kind of hangs out. So it's a developed, like, functioning city down there.
And I think in the game, when you're playing, you see the map that you're playing on. There are lanes, quote unquote.
So MOBA fans are dying. Yeah, there's three.
Oh, it's true. There's 3 lanes.
There's 3 lanes in every
Or is it
MOBA.
5?
Yeah.
I think it's always 3.
Okay.
Left, middle, right. Because Jordan loved that other. What was it called?
Paragon.
P. Yeah, he liked that other MOBA. But anyway, the last drop is the bar. It's like the heart of the lanes. It's where Vander is the bartender and owner.
Great bar name.
That was a good one.
I love this intro to Vander because it starts out with this guy named Huck, and we don't know what business he's had with these 2 thugs from out of town, but they try to fuck him over. He was owed 10,000 whatever.
I gave you those feet pics.
Yeah.
I'm owed 10,000.
Your feet are less in demand than when we made the deal. They're one of those guys, like, they just come too quick and now they don't want to pay anymore.
You're right.
God damn. He's like, no.
It's not my fault. My 10 piggies are that good.
You paid for the whole hour.
Now, God damn it, these piggies are going to market.
That's right. So Vander interrupts them very subtly, and they know who he is. He's a legend down there, so they don't want any smoke, right? And the whole bar is ready to fight if they start shit with Vander. He wouldn't even need their help.
Yeah, that shot when they start to threaten Vander and everyone in the bar is just like
Yeah.
staring at him. It's dope.
It's gangster as fuck. So you're the hound of the underground. And then he sees his kids come home in the back, in his peripheral, and he's like, all right, I'm done with this shit. I gotta go handle it. Because he's also, word travels fast, already aware of what shit they've gotten into. He had heard about the explosion and a foot chase, right? They found the tip from Benzo's shop. We don't know who Benzo is yet. That's what he finds out. He's like, I told you the north side is off limits. And he reminds Vi, look, whatever happens, it's on you. It's huge, right? You got to keep these kids in line, God damn it. But she's like, look, we don't have any loot anymore. He's like, good. Nothing can tie you to what happened up there. I'm going to handle it. I love the line as he's leaving. You did put that idiot on his ass, though, right? And she just kind of, of course I did. Like, he's the one that taught her how to fight. So he's got a personal stake in her ability to throw hands. God damn it.
Get these hands.
But Vander wants them to have a word with the informant. So he takes, I think, Clagger with him to go talk to Benzo. And he leaves Milo and Vi there. And Powder, this is such a tragic scene. And this is what this show is so good at doing. Because Powder hears Milo talking shit and then leaves when Vi says, you're right. She can't do anything. But what she's really doing is being sarcastic and defending her sister. But Powder leaves before she hears all the parts about her defending her. And it's like the show is so good at getting your heart that way. Because it's like, fuck. No, she was.
Just stay there for another second. She's got your back, dude.
She's got your back. But
Quit powdering.
And I think what the show is so good at doing too is the next time Vi and Powder interact, it seems like it's okay. Like, because Powder doesn't even bring it up and they're still good. But it's like things are building, things are layering into sadness.
Yep.
They're going to get you.
Powder will remember this.
It's just like real life. Everything's happening, it's bad, and then it seems okay, and it's not. Just like our world. I'm okay, though.
I need a hug.
Steve calling me the bitch wasn't the last straw. It's fine. We cut to Benzo's. Clearly, we see that Vander and Benzo are old friends. They kind of do the little red herring there at first. And Little Man, it turns out, is a kid named Echo.
He's so little and cute.
I get it now where he gets his name.
Yeah.
He's little and cute. By the way, almost everyone in the show is actually a genius engineer, and you just have to get over that. But yeah, Benzo is like, you know how kids are. Everybody's looking to write their own stories now.
Stories.
You know, they're doing their own burglary. You remember your first burglary, Vander?
Oh, I remember it well.
Oh, people die. It's not a big deal.
Die.
As long as it's not our fellow paws, it's fine, you know.
I have a code. I don't steal from paws like me.
Gods, I was strong then.
Oh, man. Can you imagine if Mark Addy was in this?
Yeah, Bobby B specifically.
You want me to go over to Piltover, boy?
But Echo and Clagger have a chat. And Echo's all excited, like, did Vi kick their asses? And Clagger's like, you already know, bud. We wouldn't be here. Like, obviously,
everything you've heard is true.
I think Clagger is really honorable here because he did a lot more than he's implying, you know. Mm-hmm. Like, they fought pretty well. But he's like, yeah, Vi kicked all their asses. We just watched. But Echo, he's like, where'd you get this tip, man? What's going on? We're in a lot of trouble now. Like, what? He's like, oh, there was some weird guy in the shop buying all kinds of shit nobody buys. He didn't even haggle. He's such a goober
Such an
douche.
idiot. I charged him double.
No street smarts. So I followed him back to that spot. Yeah. But then there's some enforcers coming. Like, oh shit!
Really quick, are we to assume that it's Jace that went down there?
Yeah,
okay.
For sure.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, he was down there not haggling with all the Kiraman's money, buying his research equipment.
And as soon as Echo says that, that's when Clagger's like, "Oh no, that means they're going to come straight here,
right?
Because that's where the tie is,
and
to the underworld."
So the two cops that show up is Marcus and Grayson, and Grayson's the current sheriff.
Grayson, voiced by Shohreh Aghdashloo. Holy shit, I love her.
Was she from Lost or something?
No, she was.
She has that distinct voice, man. Like,
she was.
When you hear her.
What's his name? His wife from The Penguin.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's her.
Oh, wow.
She's got that really deep, like just velvety voice. God, I love her so much. She's
from
amazing.
the influencer gangster's mom?
Maroney, yeah.
Maroney.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Miss Maroney. Holy shit. Yeah. And Grayson's on a rewatch. It's like, oh, Grayson's a cool character. You know, like what a good person. But Echo watches through his little periscope, all the tea, and we find out some things that there's the stuff that was stolen belonged to the Kiramans, and Kiramans are on the council, right? It's Caitlyn's mom. We find out later. But she's like, look, it's not going to be this easy this time, Vander. You guys fucked up real bad this time. The council needs a scapegoat. Like,
give me somebody.
We need to catch the criminal, right?
It could be someone you hate.
We had a deal, Vander.
What about that guy who sells feet pics?
Yeah.
Just give me him.
Give me him. And the pics. I'm not going to keep giving you feet pics, Grayson. We had a deal, Vander.
We had a deal.
So that's when Echo's like, oh shit, this is tea. Vander has a deal with the cops that's a betrayal, right? Because Vander's like the hero of the Undercity, and it turns out that's how he's been keeping the peace. Is like they stay in their lane, LOL, and Piltover will stay in theirs, right? But she gives him something. It's like, this is how you can reach me if you change your mind. It's like a message tube that'll go straight to her.
Yeah.
Pneumatic tube.
Pneumatic tube, yeah.
I knew that.
Yeah.
I have lots of pneumatic tubes. Powder is back in the shop in her little bedroom working on her bombs and stuff, her little cute bombs.
Casually.
Casually making bombs down there. Vi comes to talk to her, right?
If I ever have kids, I hope that they try to make bombs in their spare time. You know what I mean? I want to come in and be like, what the fuck are you doing?
I'm sure Uncle Kit will
so
teach
dangerous.
them.
I know, they're just like a bunch of little Sids from Toy Story down there. And we're like, aw. I made a shank with my erector set. Oh, cool, dude.
Did you stab anybody?
Yeah, 3. Oh, awesome.
Do you need help burying them in the backyard?
And he comes home wearing my little terrorist set today.
And I love this bit where she's like, no, I'm a fuck up. I always screw up. I'm not cool like you guys. I get it. So Vi takes her and shows her all the places that they've fucked up before. Like, you're just growing up, kid. Like, we've all had bad days. Milo tripped and trying to spray paint that dick on that poster, and look at it. You know, it's still up there, just the balls.
It's dumb.
And then her little toy, by the way, does this toy come back?
I think it does.
Is it the stuffed animal that Powder's holding later? Like, as if to say she went up and got it?
Yeah.
I think so.
I've never noticed that before. It just kind of glosses over that. But he's like, well, we learn and we stick together, right? And this is where Powder shows her that she still has the crystals. And then Vi's like, don't show Vander.
We are a little secret.
Which is a crucial mistake because she doesn't want Vander to be stressed and realize they still have some recognizable loot from down there, right? And she says, one day, this city's going to respect us.
Yeah.
Ooh. Then we cut to and meet Silco. And he's there with Deckard and the doctor. And I'm embarrassed, Madison, I hope you can help me. I know this guy's name, but I don't think it's ever said out loud.
No.
His name is Singed, but I don't know if it's Singed because Singed is a weird name, but it's probably Singed.
Probably.
Yeah, I think that, like, after that explosion...
he's been singed.
Yeah.
I get it. Okay. Well, so they're down there with Silco, Singed, and Deckard. And this is where Silco says you was supposed to follow and not interfere. Follow whom?
I think it was just follow them, but like not interact with them.
Well, because then Deckard replies something like, I'm sorry, I ran and they fucked everything up. They blew up some stuff and like they came in out of nowhere while I was following. So was he supposed to follow Jace? And if that's the case, then why?
I'm wondering if he was, following Jace and Silco knows about
the crystals,
what he's doing.
Yeah, I guess so. But it's kind of just never talked about again. As somebody who's seen it a few times, it's like, shit, that's weird.
I just thought he was talking about them before.
That's
them.
what I thought.
Yeah. In context, I don't think it's possible that he meant Vi because he kind of says like they came in out of nowhere and I didn't know they were going to be there and fucked everything up. But,
oh damn it! The people I'm following, they're here.
But Silco's like, basically,
I'm bad at this.
I'm not a good follower.
Let me post it outside your house.
But Silco's like concerned about the heat that's going to bring down. So he's like, our timeline has moved up, right? And then we get the whole bit where he puts the cat in the cage with the rat. But despite all its rage, it's still just a rat in a cage. But he gives it Shimmer, is what that stuff's called.
I named my rat Billy Corgan.
That's right. Bullet on a butterfly wing, you know? And the rat just like grows up and rips the cat to shreds.
I love the phrase "it grows up."
Yeah. When I grow up, I want to kill a cat. Oh, damn. It's faster than I thought. Yay. Time flies. And he's like, they're ready for human trials, right? And he's like, someone just volunteered. Talking about Deckard, who did definitely not volunteer.
No, he did not.
Super mean. And that's the end of episode 1.
Silco, by the way, really awesome antagonist.
An awesome character.
He's so cool.
Very good.
I really like that character.
Right now, I need more of his backstory because he's very pure evil right now. And I need some context to him, but we'll get there.
You know he was almost drowned.
Yes. he has reminded us.
He talks about that more than Varys talks about his old dick. I told you about the time I was drowned.
Yes, you told me literally 5 minutes ago.
Have you seen my gash? And it's the one on his face.
The reason why it looks awful is there's a lot of poop in that water.
It's true.
It got infected.
It's true.
A lot of doo-doo. A doo-doo eye.
It's
I
pink
call
eye.
it my brown eye.
It's just pink eye.
Unchecked pink eye.
Episode 2 is called Some Mysteries Are Better Left Unsolved. And the episode starts with the other side of that door. Of
the break-in?
Yeah, in the Piltover penthouse, the double Ps. And it's Jace out there with a young Caitlin Kierman, returning home with some new goodies he just bought. And we get this memory of when Jace was a kid. I don't even know where in the world this is or what the fuck's going on. It kind of never says. But
Where in the world
he's in this,
is Jace from Arcane?
He's in this snowy landscape with his mother. They're dying. And this fucking mage shows up with the gem that he becomes obsessed with and teleports them to safety.
Yeah, what the fuck were they doing?
I don't know.
Like,
I think we took a wrong turn, mother.
Oh shit, we're at Mount Everest.
Fuck.
At first I was like,
go to Kroger.
I told you we should have taken an Uber.
it was like a crossover with the film Frozen. And I was like, oh, Elsa's going to like come out and Olaf's going to show up.
That's basically what happens is the mage is Elsa.
I love the idea of in this world, mages are just hooded dudes who are just like, yo, what up?
Yeah.
I was just wandering.
Well, because the story of Jason, I don't know if this will become more apparent as we, am rewatching, because I really never got a glimpse of like where that scene came from or like where his origin is, because the origin of his family is like they're craftsmen of, hammers and stuff, which is how they get their last name. And that's where the emblem is from. So it's like for them to be in this snowstorm of an environment, I'm like, doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, but I'm sure there's some.
There is a sort of explanation that we can't get into at all, without spoiling the fellas. But specifically where they're at and stuff, I have no idea.
Completely went over my head, I guess.
Well, I'm just scared, so I don't want to say anything. I don't know. I don't even know if it is a spoiler, but I'm just not going to say anything.
That's
else.
fair.
But Grayson is grilling Jace, right? Like they're looking at the crime scene, and she's like, a lot of what I'm seeing around here is also illegal, right? I don't know what it is, but he's got some hot items in there.
There's some crystal things that blow up over here. We got some cocaine.
What's this crystal meth?
We've got
by Crystal.
I see TikTok on your phone. That's illegal now.
Whoa.
Where's the China spy? Where is he?
Also, what's on that sandwich? That doesn't look FDA approved. It's not. Oh my god.
Oh my god. It's people. Oh god.
Damn. It's got dark.
Damn.
But Victor is there as well. He's assistant to the dean of the academy, who is also on the council, Heimerdinger. Head of the council, rather.
What a name.
Dude, I have spelled his name so many different ways throughout this.
So it's
Heimerding.
It's Heimerdinger.
Heimerdinger.
It's a Heimdinger.
Well, I got a Heisenberg in here somewhere.
But Jace himself is to be taken before the council because of the illegal. They got to decide what's going on with him, right? He's a student at the academy at the time, so it's important for them to decide. And this is like a science school-run society, so that's why. The head scientist is like the head of the city. But he's got that old gem that the mage used and tossed to him on his wrist. He made a bracelet out of it. It's like his life's obsession. So enter Heimerdinger. He's this cute little guy. We don't know what species he is.
Hello, everyone.
He's immortal. He doesn't die.
Hey,
Well done.
that's good.
I knew you had it in you. I knew you had a Heimerdinger in you. Let him out.
Every man is born with a Heimerdinger in him.
We can only hope.
You have to
Not
let him
every
out.
man truly lives.
But he tells Heimerdinger that his goal, that's his fucking name. You can't laugh every time. It's going to be a long show.
I'm going to.
It's a real humdinger, that Heimerdinger.
He's telling Heimerdinger.
He is. It sounds like something you dropped in the toilet that, that one was a Heimerdinger.
Let's call him Jaime.
Okay.
Let's call him
I
Dinger.
like it. Dinger comes in.
Let's call him by his Christian name,
Imprisonment.
Heimerdinger. But he tells him, Jace says, I was trying to achieve magic through science. And Heimerdinger does not like that, right? Oh, the arcane is dangerous, my dear boy.
We shouldn't do that, Jace.
How old are you? 24. I'm 307. So
I should know.
put that in your pipe and smoke it. And he says he tell the council, speak nothing of magic, right? get you out with the proverbial slap on the wrist as long as you don't bring up this magic shit. We cut to Vi, who's in their little like arcade hideout. She's training with the boxing bot.
Dude, I love how they have a family fun center in the.
They do,
lanes.
but it's all like built by Powder.
Well, yeah, to your point, yeah, I think Milo has a line that says like, well, Powder keeps changing how these targets move and
she
stuff.
keeps fixing it. It's basically cheating, right? But she's definitely not cheating. So we find out that she's like this brilliant engineer, can't get her grenades to work, but she built all that shit. But also that she's an incredible shot. I love the little paintball game that they're using, but Milo misses almost every one of them, and she doesn't miss a single one.
He doesn't get no prizes at Dave & Buster's.
Nothing, dude. Nothing.
Milo's fucking useless.
He picks locks.
He doesn't even do. They
He
don't even
doesn't
let him
need
do
to
that.
because
Yeah.
Vi kicks the door down
Yeah.
Well, later he picks Vander's locks, guys.
to his heart.
And Vander's such a good dad. He's like, calm down. I will get there. I'm going to cry. But the enforcers are tearing apart the area. They can see through the glass. They're like, oh, good thing they're not going to find us in here. But then that dude starts shit, spits on his boot. He gets thrown through the glass. They look at the kids and go, oh, shit, search them. Well, and you can hear Milo's ADR like, search me. I don't got shit. Pig. And Powder's over there like, I really shouldn't carry these crystals with me everywhere. Fuck. And Vi clocks it that she's got them on her. And she's like, shit, shit, shit. And she hits one in the head with this thing from her boxing machine. Think. Really hard. I love how they go all in. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to get away or go to prison because I'm going to try to kill this cop with this 40-pound, metal slab. I just think it's cool. They commit.
The ride or die.
Yeah.
Squad up.
So then they run. Echo shows up. Little Man's there, helps them escape up a fire escape ladder. Yeah. They're like shooting at him and shit. It's crazy. And then we meet Mel. And we find Mel's a member of the council. She's the richest person in Piltover, but the poorest Medarda. She's the poorest member of her own family. So she's got mommy issues and stuff. We find that early on about her. She's got a chip on her shoulder about
poor
that.
daughter, you can live in that shithole Piltover.
I was going to say, she's fine. She's doing okay.
She hears of House Talus. She's got like this little caddy friend who's like giving her all the tea.
Alora?
Amara? Maybe
Alora.
Amara is the lady later that's like rich in the opera. But yeah, I don't know what the dynamic is there, but she's a gossy. She's a gossy bitch. We know that.
Did you hear what Heimerdinger paid for that guy's feet pics?
Why is everyone buying feed pics now? What did Heimerdinger do?
They're so good. I had to study them for science. Jace, get in here.
As if I'm not close to them enough because of how close I am to the ground.
That's right. That's true.
I can smell them.
I can smell them through the picture.
Caitlin tells her parents that they need to help Jace. And it's so funny how, like, I don't like the Kiermans at all. And I think you're immediately not supposed to. There's like the really hoity-toity, like they're the kind of people that are like, oh, I donate to the poor. They're very left-wing, rich, liberal, like shitty people.
I just want you to know before we have a conversation that I voted for Obama.
Yeah, exactly.
I would have voted for a third term.
Because the mother's like, of course we need to help Jace. He's our little special boy. And like at the council, she's like, I always knew you were a piece of shit immediately for no reason.
I hate your little ascot.
Exactly. We meet Savika. And she wants to hit the enforcers back, right? Like the whole crew in the last drop. And Savika talks shit to Vander. She's like, you look weak. That's what you look like. You look like a bitch. You look like Kit Laser. According to Steve, that's what you look like. And even his kids want to fight. Like Vi and the gang, they're like, yeah, why is he being such a bitch? He's being such a Kit Laser right now. We should go fight him. And she can tell that Echo knows something, and he's really bad at hiding it. He's like just standing there with a look on his face, like, I want to say it's so bad. And he tells him that Vander's got to deal with the enforcers. Oh my goodness, that's sacrilege because the enforcers killed her parents. That's unforgivable, right?
Unforgivable.
Yeah. So there's this whole bit I've never noticed before where Mel is like shopping for jewelry, and she buys what appears to be an actual like child's toy. And she gives that to, I think his name's Huxel, but one of the council members.
The really
one.
dumb one.
Yeah, he's like, oh, and he can't.
For the sharpest of minds.
We'll get to it, but yeah, that's one of my favorite gags. This sharpest of minds like, oh, great, but then when there's a time jump later on in the series, he's still doing it. Like he hasn't ever solved it.
I didn't even notice that.
But it's all like gross because it's years now older.
He's still working on this thing. Best gift I ever got. But then Jace is brought before the council, and he's trying to sit there and take it the way that Heimerdinger instructed he do, right? But he can't. He's too proud of his work. He was revolutionary. I don't know why I got so ferocious there, but that's how he feels. And then Jace snaps and mentions the magic, right? And that's where, what's his name?
It's a kind of magic.
Bolbach.
Yeah, Councilman Bolbach. My race was nearly destroyed by the Arcane. Yeah, I like, dude, he's and the lady with like the counter rotating necklace and stuff, those are awesome.
Oh God, she's got to be. It has to be so annoying to watch a movie with her. Just you're watching some movie and just 60 Minutes over there is happening.
Your sleeve gets caught in it. You're like,
oh God.
Heimerdinger though is probably worse.
That's why she shaves her head so her hair doesn't get caught in it.
That's like watching a movie with Steve because. That's called a snorri cam. Oh, no way they got that shot.
Have you heard of a Zolly? It's used quite well in Severance.
It's fascinating. And then Heimerdinger flexes on him too a little bit. He's like, you guys know, oh, you probably don't. That's a burden only I here carry. Time, all of you will die pretty soon by my reckoning.
Did you not know?
Yeah. Anyway, I'll miss you. But he's seen that power in the wrong hands. They all fear magic, right? And he speaks of faraway cities that have been destroyed by looking into magic, right? And they are governed by what's called the ethos. And the ethos is clear.
It's the pirate code we all follow.
That's right. Parlay. He must be banished from Piltover, right? That's what they say. But his mother comes in to beg for him. And so they kind of agree, okay, what we'll do is we'll just expel him from the academy, which is just as devastating to him as, complete banishment from the city because his
future's over.
Yeah.
Also, his mom like drags him. She's like, he's not in his right mind, and like just completely dismisses his emotions.
Well, she thinks in her mind she's protecting him, right?
Right.
Like,
yes.
just come make hammers with me and your pa. Which, by the way, they put it out to be like because House Talus is not like this scion of one of the great houses that they're like poor and blue collar, they just make hammers. But like, if you supply all the hammers to this industrious city, like you're probably wealthy from hammers, right? It's hammer time.
His family's like the Ace Hardware of our world.
Yeah, that's a good connection.
Like, I understand if he doesn't want to go into the family business, but why are they looking like every time you see the mother, she's like, I haven't eaten today. Like all the hammers. Like, is Dad blowing the money on whores
Are you
and
giving
coke?
the hammers away? What is this?
Dad's out there just blowing the money in the Undercity.
Oh, I'll show you a hammer.
He's spending all on Huck's feet pics. I can't stop.
I want what I'm owed.
That's Jace's dad that was down there. He does look like he swings a hammer, that guy. We cut to Marcus and Silco, and Marcus was called there. It's like he's in this little lair and shit. And this is where Silco snitches on the kids and they form the alliance, right? Working with the dirty cop. This is where this starts. Then we cut to Jace and his mother, and she's like, you just need to let the magic go. Just make hammers with me and your dad.
Nobody understands me, Mom.
Yeah, he's so mad. He's 24 going on 13. He's really upset about it. He's very angsty.
Parents just don't understand.
They really don't.
And Victor, the assistant to Heimerdinger, comes in and tells Jace, like, I like your ideas, right? And
I love Victor.
But Heimerdinger's like, Patooey.
Gross. I don't like it, Victor. I don't much care about it.
Yeah. So Victor and Heimerdinger put all of his research in a safe, and Heimerdinger's like, tomorrow we'll destroy it. But not today. I'm too sleepy.
I'm sleepy.
Exactly. It would be no plot if you.
My pet here needs cuddles, and I'm going to give it to him the entire day.
Do we meet the dog yet?
I don't know.
I don't think we see the little dog yet.
I don't think we meet the dog yet.
Until he comes in to look at the thing, but which is so funny at that time.
Do you remember who voices Victor?
Not at this moment.
Harry fucking Lloyd. Viserys himself from
really?
Game of Thrones season 1. Yeah.
My dude.
No shit.
Which guy is that?
Victor.
Yeah.
The Russian
Harry
dude
Lloyd?
with the with the crutch.
She knows who Victor is, right? Harry Lloyd is the.
Or were you asking who Harry Lloyd was?
Yeah, from Game of Thrones.
Yeah, he's the crazy brother.
I see.
Yeah, Danny's crazy brother from season 1.
I
Viserys.
see.
Good to see he recovered from that crown incident.
He did, yeah.
And he's way more chill.
Yeah. I mean, he just needs crutches to walk now.
There's some great voice acting throughout
Yeah,
this
he does
show.
a really good Russian voice.
Like, yeah, it's really good.
I can't wait. I don't. This might be a spoiler, but Andy, do you know who voices adult Caitlin?
No, I the only voice cast that I knew was Vian Jinx.
Well, it's none other than Katie Lung, Cho Chang.
Cho Chang?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Which I rewatched Harry Potter recently, and I didn't make that connection at all. And I was watching Order of the Phoenix, and I was like, "Oh my gosh,
That sounds like Caitlin."
That's Caitlin." It's crazy.
Huh.
We cut back to Silco and Deckard, and this is where he counsels it. I do like how he sort of lets Deckard choose, right? He doesn't force him down or anything. He says it's time to let the monster out, right? And he hands it to him, and he willingly drinks the shimmer and turns into Mr. Hyde.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not Dr. Jekyll.
Yeah.
That's the other one. But the Kiramans won't even see Jace. He comes up to the gate. The gates are locked. Caitlin's outside in the rain. She likes him. That was my buddy. That was my poor friend, the hammer guy that would let me work on science projects with him and stuff. And this is where I'm like, dude, the Kiramans suck, because the mom comes out like, come inside, Caitlin. You're gonna catch the paw disease.
Ew.
She's like the guy from Wonka.
I can't say poor.
But Grayson is talking to the council about the robbery incident itself, and they're like, we can't let this stand. We're letting the poors, they got too much leash. I've been telling you, right? So you need to turn the Undercity upside down and find the culprit. This is too unsafe for us normal folk up here.
Yeah, and her little buddy Marcus behind her is looking a little...
Oh, yeah, he's looking hungry.
Yeah.
He's already got that info from Silco. Mm-hmm. So he goes, takes some thugs with him to the last drop. And I love how douchey he is. Like, he's so eager to be seen as a manly man.
What's up, losers?
I'll take the strongest shit you got. I got this shit in a jar down below. It's got like a little fetus in it. You want that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I love the fetus juice.
I've had 6 mics hard today, brother. Give it to me.
You got any twisted tea? I can take it. I don't know about that. So Vander presses the button, the little warning button down there, and it starts like the clappy monkey that warns the kids. Oh no.
Monkey.
And Marcus is up there being a cash money dick to Vander, and everybody is like, Vander's the legend, the hound of the underground, and all of his buddies are watching him take shit from this like rookie cop, and it's like disgusting to them. They can't, you know what I mean? And it hurts Vander, but Vander has gotten to a place where he's like, my kids are what's most important. I need to protect the ones that I love. Mm-hmm. And so, but the dynamic is interesting because they're all watching like the scariest dude they've ever known in their entire life just take shit from this pipsqueak. And it's terrible. And it's hard for him too. Cause like, especially when he like takes his pipe and shit, he's like, oh, eye twitching, right? Like I could snap your fucking neck so easily.
Didn't even drink the fetus juice.
Oh, I've been worked all day on that. It's
You
been
ruined
so
my
good.
pipe with
I wish
it.
he had put like a little umbrella in the drink. You know what I mean?
Dink.
That would make such a good
It's a little
touch.
garnish.
Made him an apple teeny. But they're all like on the ceiling hiding, like that move. It's the what's it called? The cat burglar move, right?
Yeah.
The powder's slipping. Oh no. And it's a very harrowing scene.
She got to work on that core strength.
Every time I watch this scene, it's so interesting how they do it because that cop, like it's a pretty by the numbers beat that you've seen in a lot of movies. But he like takes a few extra looks and drives you fucking nuts.
That dude makes a real meal of it.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm going to go. Oh, am I? All right, I've opened the door, but wait. All right, I'm leaving. Flashlight one more time to be sure.
Turn the flashlight off. Gaze around the dark.
Yeah, that dude was a kid who grew up thinking there was a monster in the closet.
Yeah.
all
For
the
sure.
He's like, I'm not
For
going to turn
sure.
my
Look
back.
under the bed.
I'm not going to turn my back.
Look behind the dresser.
I can smell it.
Take the TV off the wall and look behind that.
Mm-hmm.
It's here somewhere. I know it.
But Powder barely makes it, but she falls so quietly, luckily, because otherwise he would have came right back in.
That door shuts, and then Powder's like, God damn it! It's like the loudest fall. But that dude's like, I checked the
I
room.
checked.
I'm not going back in.
I can't go back in.
That place way too scary.
There's definitely a monster in there. I ain't going back.
And then Vi like yells at Vander, like, we almost got caught. We obviously have to kill all the cops.
Fuck the man.
I've been telling you, man. I've been listening to Motorhead all day. The Ace of Spades. What does it even mean? I don't know. It's a good card. Yeah, they all want to fight back. And then Vander takes her to the death bridge. Remember when your parents died here? Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Holy shit. This
I remember.
is awful.
They're still there.
Someone needs to pick that skeleton up. It makes me really sad.
Everyone's scared of skeletons. They won't do it.
Yeah. But he tells her, like, look, I led us across this bridge thinking things could change. If I hadn't, your parents could still be alive. So that's like the basis of his whole change in character that he's trying to impart to Vi. Like, you got to look out for Milo and Clagger and Powder and the things that you want to do. I know you want to fight for justice, but who are you willing to lose? Oh.
Which, as the older sibling, I don't know. I forget if any of you guys are the eldest sibling.
No, Andy and I are both the youngest.
Like,
And so is Steve.
Yeah.
and wow, crazy. Whoa. But I feel like the amount of responsibility that Vander is pushing on Vi, like, you can just like, again, these characterizations of who Vi is, like taking on that responsibility and like taking most of the blame.
Oh, you think she has like eldest kid trauma?
For sure. I mean, I can only, like, her parents died when they were very little. Vander is like leaning on her to be his right-hand man at the age of, 13, 14 years old. And, obviously in the context, she has a younger sister, she's already inheriting this maternal instinct to take care of her sister and also take on this responsibility that Vander is putting on her to, be in charge of Clagger and Milo. And like, I guess what I'm saying is like, I don't resonate with Vi on this in any capacity, but it's just like inheriting that responsibility. I don't know. It's just, I resonate with Vi a lot from that perspective of like taking on a lot of responsibility at a very young age. Which is why Vi is like such a cool and dense and dynamic character. I don't know. And then this scene in particular, I just feel like is very forefront of that and who she is, with Vander putting all of this responsibility on her.
So what you're saying is, at one point, Suzanne took you aside and was like, listen, Madison, I know you want to go to Bonnaroo, but who are you willing to lose? And like points at your brother.
Give me the molly.
That's what I'm saying.
Give me the molly.
In Vander's defense, Vi, as she takes on all that responsibility, but she's also like, yeah, 11-year-old sister, let's go jump off of these buildings together. You're ready. Like, it's super fucking dangerous shit. And he's like, fucking don't do that, please.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus.
Yeah.
That's true.
Keep your burglaries to this side of town. I've told you 6 times.
You burgle here. You don't burgle there.
That's a good point. He's really not like so mad about her going to steal shit. It's stealing from Piltover.
Yeah, crime is a necessity where they live, but it's specifically the north side of town.
Yeah.
Not even just Piltover, but like the richest of the rich.
Well, I mean, he knows that, with the deal with Grayson, which is why this is such a sticky situation because
his own kids broke the pact.
I can imagine if it was a heist anywhere else, I'm sure, Vander would be fighting back. But because if it was somebody else that was like dealing with all of this, not his kids, I'm sure he would be acting differently and wanting to fight back.
It was Echo. That little shit
Just
did it.
throw Echo under the bus.
Sorry, Benzo. We gotta make a show.
That's what you get for being named after a drug. But yeah, there is something to that. I mean, it's a theory that has zero research supporting it, but Alfred Adler was a psychologist who believed in the birth order theory. That like the firstborn tended to be really achievement oriented and kind of stressed out, but more responsible. And the youngest always tend to be more rebellious and attention seeking was his theory. But
I feel attacked.
Rebellious, attention seeking. Anyone?
I feel attacked.
all of us.
For sure.
I can definitely tell. Like, you guys are definitely giving younger brother energy.
I think I tire my siblings out just by existing. They're like hanging out, doing their Gen X thing, and I slide in like, hey guys!
They're like,
And I'm Steve.
And I'm Steve.
Hi, Steve.
You're breaking your back at work. I just did a live show.
Did you guys watch Andor?
Yeah. I'm mom's favorite.
Okay, bye.
Bye. And Jace is about what?
Just going from that, and so cut back to, and so Jason's about to kill himself.
Yeah, he's looking out across the city from the ruined penthouse. takes off the gem bracelet, and he's going to fucking jump. And then Victor luckily interrupts, right? And makes fun of him.
I really like your work.
He's like, you know my name? Only because you signed your notes every page. That's a little egotistical, don't you think? You just come here to make fun of me? I'm going to jump.
Aim for the bushes.
Yeah, it's Assassin's Creed rules. You'll be fine. But he tells him his hex tech theory, right? And then we get some of Victor's backstory. He's like, I'm just a cripple from the Undercity. So you don't know shit about people not believing in you. But bucko, don't be such a pussy.
I
You're being a
didn't
real
have-
kit laser from...
That guy's a real puss. I didn't even have hammer money growing up, all right?
That's right.
I wasn't one of the
Which
hammer
apparently
bros.
doesn't pay much.
Yeah.
But he's like, look, when you're going to change the world, you don't ask for permission. Goddamn right.
Cool.
That's a good line.
And so then Vi comes home and Milo and Clagger are getting ready to fight. Even Powder's ready. Yeah, let's kill him. I made grenades. And they're like, God damn it, you're weird, kid. We keep telling you. I put nails in this one. Jesus Christ.
Jesus.
And this is where Powder has that rabbit that was hanging from the power lines. And I was like, when did she get that? How did she get that? She must be really capable. Because she's sitting there holding it.
Oh.
Yeah.
And it's
Well,
not remarked upon. She's just holding it.
But also, at the
Vi
same-
like comes and sits next to her and sits on her lap, and Vi like looks down and goes,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Recognizes it?
that's what I was going to say.
No, sorry.
Oh, you would have said it better, though.
Yeah.
No, Andy did great.
You sure?
Yeah.
Let's rewind it. How are you going to say it? Let's compare.
Steve will leave the best
big,
one
it's
in.
Eldest
Yeah.
sibling approved.
Okay. good.
Just simply.
But the show is so
I
cool
love
for
this
that.
dynamic that Madison is the older sibling out of
yeah.
all of us.
And the youngest person here.
Yeah, all our older siblings could be your parents.
Yeah. It's true.
But yeah, there's this whole bit where she's like, no, what makes you different makes you strong, kiddo. Okay? You're special. You're just special. And Grayson yells at Marcus for taking the cops into the last drop. You're a fool. You fool. What if you have no idea what you've done?
Fool of a toque.
And then Vander's message comes through the pneumatic tube. Goddamn right. And she's like, okay, maybe this can be salvaged. And we get that funky beat. Is this the one you didn't like?
Boom.
No, that one already happened in episode 1.
This funky beat is sick. The enforcers are marching through the Undercity, and Vander's making powder, that yummy drink. What do you think that is? It's just
Sunny
liquor.
D.
It's just a Long Island iced tea.
Yeah,
you
he
go,
just
kiddo.
pours her some juice. I love this scene
Yeah.
so much, dude, because like they do the little needle drop literally, and like it has the two little girls on it, and that like mirrors the intro Netflix logo and stuff. And yeah, I love the touch of him adding the straw for her. Like
Yeah.
that's such
And she's got her
like,
own special cup.
little parent thing to do. Yeah, she's got her own little special cup.
And he's
Yeah,
so
just pour her
disappointed
some
when she
juice.
doesn't want it because it usually cheers her up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great scene.
My little girl's growing up.
And it looks like Vi
She doesn't want
basically
a choco milk.
Vi sent that message, and she decided that the way she can help everybody is just to turn herself in. And we hear somebody knocking on the door, and it looks like she's about to go to jail. And that's how the episode ends. And then we get episode 3, the base violence necessary for change. Before we get too far into this third episode, I do want to say I was texting Andy because we had to watch a couple Severance episodes, a Game of Thrones, all kinds of stuff for recording the show today. And I was texting Andy, and he was talking about how he was like, I'm enjoying Arcane. I was like, oh, how far did you make it? And he said, oh, I watched 2.5 episodes. Something interrupted me. And I've been talking to him about the show for years, as I've already said, and we've already talked at great length about how important the end of episode 3 is for the dynamic of the show, and you're being locked in. And he said, I've seen 2.5, and I was like, fuck!
You're right there, man.
You're right there.
Come on, go!
Such a funny, it was such a funny thing for him to say. I was like, okay, man, hang in there. He did text me after he finished, like, dude, what a place to stop. But yeah, so Silco starts. I love the beginning of this episode.
Good.
It just starts with him drowning. A story of opposites, you know?
Did you know
There's peace in the
he
water.
was drowned? Did you know that? Did you know that?
Have you heard the story?
Yeah.
I had
I
heard rumors of this drowning. A story of opposites. Yeah, because it's all peaceful, and then it's like, but it also sucks real bad. Yeah, because you can't breathe. And then like the shadowy figure that's drowning him.
This is how Andy thinks taking a neti pot feels like.
Yes.
Not like this.
Did you know? Did you have any impression of who was drowned? I'm curious.
No, here, not at all.
Okay. All we know then is he's being drowned. And then we cut to where we left off in episode 2, and it's Vander and Benzo that were busting in on Vi. They realized what she was going to do, and he's there to save her, right? He's like, look, I'm proud of you. You've got a good heart.
Don't lose that.
Don't ever lose it. No matter how the world tries to break you, protect them. And I was weeping during this, and I don't think that that's normal, but it's just like moments like this in this show just fucking crush me. Like, he's such a good dude, you know? And like the animation of, it's both things. It's the animation of Vi's face is so good, but also Haley Steinfeld is so good in the way that she's able to like kind of break her voice, and even like the sound she makes in general between words it's just so heartbreaking as she realizes what's happening, and he locks her in the room, and she's like, no, let me out, right? Then Grayson shows up, and he's like, oh, you got me, take me in. And Grayson's like, I can't arrest you,
I don't want
Vander.
to do that, bro.
I need you down here. And he's like, Benzo, hold it together.
Yeah, Benzo's
Everything
reign
will
over
fall
the underworld
apart.
does not last long.
No.
It does not. So as soon as they go outside, Grayson just gets violently killed, torn apart, taken out. And it's Silco is the one that's there. And Marcus is like, this wasn't the deal, right? And then they kill fucking Benzo. And everybody.
Yeah, there's some weird monster running around, killing everybody.
And Vi can see through the window, and Little Man's watching. It's a terrible, terrible thing. A terrible wound.
And then I love this moment where I think Silco throws the money at Marcus, and there's a slow-mo of the coins falling to the ground in the blood.
Yeah.
Like, blood money, literally.
And
I don't want to pick that up now.
And she's like, ew.
Just hand it to me. Jesus.
Yeah, he's this is not.
ew.
Ew, ew.
I hate it. I hate it.
That's a 10-piece, but I need it.
Oh, it's in the grooves of the coin. Oh.
It's all crusty now.
And then Deckard punches Vander, knocks him out. We cut over to Victor and Jace, who are working to stabilize the crystal and work on the hex tech and try to make it work. And he's like, look, I need my research to get the rest of it, right? Vander has the keys to Heimerdinger's office.
You mean Victor?
Yeah, excuse me. Victor has the keys to Heimerdinger's office. And he's like, look, we're going to go to fucking prison if this doesn't work, dude. Better be right then. Like, Victor's gangster about it.
Yeah. He's all in.
You can't be a whore your whole life. And it was like, what? He's from the Undercity. He talks like that. He's like, no, this is our hex tech dream, bro. Kiss me.
Dude, I've known you for 4 hours. All right.
Right.
You're coming on strong.
Hey, I've had friends like that. You just kind of click, you know, and you just make out a little bit. It's
we
not a
just
big deal.
become best friends.
Yup. Echo unlocks the door for Vi, lets her out, and then they cry together. It's devastating. And she's like, look, I know you're sad. Your dad died. That's awful. Where's Vander?
Yeah, dude.
Come on, snap out of it. My dad might be alive. But back at Silco's spot is where we get the line of the title, right? The base violence necessary for change. It's a little icky. Did I tell you about drowning? Oh, you were there. But he's like, look, man, the top side won't listen to anything else. We got to be violent, right? Deckard has changed back. He's feeling a little worse for wear. Like that was a rough high. I'm coming down now. And he's mad at Vander. We don't know the backstory yet, but we shared a vision, a dream of freedom, the nation of Zon. And he's like, I hated you, but you kept my respect.
Goddamn, I love you.
Until you played lapdog for the piggies. And Vander's like, look, just spare the lanes. That's it. I love
Spare
this.
'em.
Spare the. I love Silco's line where it's like, you die for the cause, but not fight for one. Come on, buddy.
You've turned into a real kid laser.
Use them mitts.
I want you to live.
And back with Jason Victor, they're trying to sneak in. They're unlocking, and Mel Medarda catches them there. She's working late at the office and sees them there. And Victor pulls the.
Wait a minute, this isn't my bedroom.
He tries. That's all he could think of in the
Hold
moment.
on.
Wait a minute.
And she says, hey, any worthwhile venture involves risk. And then she ends up stopping the guard for them. She lets them commit a felony just in case it works, because she's an ambitious lady.
I may have committed some light treason.
Just a bit for money though, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Milo and Clagger are there calling dibs on weapons. They're ready to go fuck shit up. And Vi comes busting in and she's like, Benzo's dead. They took Vander. We got to go do some crazy shit. Powder comes running out with a grenade. Let's fucking go. And no, you're not ready. And Powder's really upset about this, right? But she's like, look, take this flare. I'll come find you. Just take this and run, right? I can't lose you. I learned that from Vander really recently, and I'm not willing. I've had a change. It's part of my arc. You wouldn't get it.
You wouldn't get it.
You don't have one yet.
Girl.
Study creative writing, and then you'll understand.
Jace and Victor are ready to try the hex tech. They turn it on. Shit goes crazy. And Powder is wigging out like only a kid can do. You guys remember these feels?
So fucking good.
Yeah.
For like a kid that just loses all sense of their fucking self and just goes fucking manic.
Like your mom just took your Game Boy.
Dude, the snot coming out of her face, the drool, like literally every orifice is just everything's coming out.
You're not allowed to go spend the night at your friend's house and you just fall into one of these.
Start slamming your toys.
You said we could get Pizza Hut.
The pouty lip.
This is what Gandhi felt like. I knew it. Yeah. So dramatic. We've been there though.
This is what Gandhi felt like.
But then she sees the monkey clapper thing and drops the gems and has an idea. Oh, I can explode things. I get it. Jace and Victor have a breakthrough, but they have to turn it off. And Vi and the gang easily get to Vander. Milo starts to pick the locks, and I love how they realize it because Vander's like, wait, how did you get in here? There's so many guards. Oh, it was easy. There was an open window. Oh, fuck.
It's a trap.
Oh, God. Yeah.
You fucking idiot.
Silco set the trap. He's got all his thugs with him. And he's like, it was part of his plan, right? Vander the coward fled town with his children, and they were never seen again. So he's going to kill all 4 kids in Vander and tell everybody that they left and take over the Undercity.
What a gossipy bitch.
That's his plan.
Vander, that fugly slut, took his dumb kids.
Put him in his burn book. But Vi goes out to fight, and she's got Vander's gauntlets, cast iron gauntlets.
So badass.
Oh, it's so cool.
Yeah, she starts knocking skulls, man.
But Powder's outside. She's running up to the warehouse. And Big Dude doesn't know what to make of Vi. This dude's like 6'7", 320, covered in tattoos. He's looking at this 17-year-old girl like,
Do I stab her?
I guess I stab her. Okay.
I'm not going to feel good about
But
this.
Vi starts fucking wrecking shit.
Doesn't she just do one uppercut and he's out?
Oh, he's out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she just pivots, uppercut.
That's what I'm trying to be.
He's that glass jaw guy from Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
Well, she's using a cast
Glass
iron
Joe?
fist.
Yeah, Glass Joe.
R.I.P. Glass Joe.
Yeah.
But Milo is struggling with unlocking things, and I love how good of a father Vander is because I'm unfortunately not. I'd have been like, hurry the fuck up! Fucking, you never do anything right, you know? But have you adopted? Have you not been to lock before, idiot? This is why your parents left. But he's like, take a breath. You can do this. And he gets 1 foot free. And Clagger, meanwhile, is trying to find a way out per Vi's instructions. He finds he's like, what's that movie where there's like the mole character? It's like a cartoon.
The Underminer. I don't know.
No.
What?
There's a mole character.
I'll look. Somebody's writing the end of the show right now. I'll find it
What,
when the
from
podcast.
what cartoon?
I'll find it later. I obviously don't know, or I wouldn't have asked.
No, we're getting to the bottom of this right now.
You want me to?
Yes.
What kind of mole is it?
This is going to bother me.
Mole.
Is it 3D animated?
Is it
2D animated?
anthropomorphized?
Mole character cartoon. Atlantis. This guy.
Oh.
It's from Atlantis.
Atlantis?
Oh.
Okay.
You never watched Atlantis?
No, I actually haven't.
Oh, it's a good movie. Underrated. Anyway, nobody's with me on this?
I haven't seen Atlantis either.
Andy?
Never.
What?
I believe you.
Madison, I understand, but you millennial betrayers.
Hey, there was a period of like late 90s Disney animated movies that I did not watch. And that was in that period.
His name is Gaëtan Molière, the French mole guy.
Okay.
Do that again?
I was thinking of South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut. I am the mole.
Fucking guard dog shit.
Oh, you've seen that. Blame Canada. Okay, that's fair. Anyway, that's the character I was thinking of. But yeah, Clagger's that guy, and he's trying to find a way out. He finds like the perfect dirt, like, oh, I can break through this brick. This is easy peasy. But Silco holds Savika back, which is interesting. Is it like that's his beloved thug? He's like, I don't want to. Vi's kind of wrecking shit. I don't think you should risk this. Let's just give him Deckard in his shimmer, right? So he drinks the shimmer, and now it's only Vi and the monster left on the bridge between the cells.
Solomon Grundy looking motherfucker coming after her.
Yeah. And she's not able to defeat the shimmer beast, but she's able to crawl back into like the cell and lock herself in there with him. And he's like, good job, kid.
I love when she gets back there and locks the door. The Deckard's like, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Shit, I didn't know you that.
I thought you were crawling away dramatically and I was going to kill you. I didn't know you were going to cheat.
I was really making a meal of it. I thought it was going to look cool.
Oh, told you to take the door off. Heimerdinger is trying to break in. I'm proud of you guys, by the way. You guys have stopped laughing like 7 Heimerdingers ago.
Only on the inside.
I'm acting above it, but I used to make videos on TikTok about Arcane, RIP TikTok. And I had to do a few takes on a few times that I said Heimerdinger for sure. So I've just practiced more. That's all. When you say it out loud, it is a meal of a name. But he's trying to break in while he's got like brought the guards there and shit while Jace and Victor are doing the experiment. And he busts in and they're floating.
Heimerdinger.
Heimerdinger.
You're about to get dingered.
He's a Pokemon now. Heimerdinger. They're just floating there. And he's like, holy sprockets. And Victor grabs like this little gear that floats through the plasma thing, whatever it is. He grabs that gear. And he goes, you've actually done it. And then he's like, but we can't do this, my dear Boas. It's too dangerous. And Mel's there as well. That's for the council to decide. Perhaps it's time for the era of magic.
Not magic.
Dun, dun, dun.
Hextech, the branding scheme, Mel. God damn it. But Powder puts her gems in the little grenade that she made. She wants to help so bad. I can help them. Clagger starts to break through the wall. Vander is freed. What's so sad about all this is they made it.
Yeah.
They would have left.
made it, yeah.
But boom, her bomb finally goes off. Savika's arm is blown off. She saves Silco, pushes him out of the way. Singed down below, just toiling away on
that poor fucking guy.
Silco, are you home?
Is something happening?
I made a lasagna. He gets blown to bits down there with the shimmer.
He's got some lo-fi beats playing on his Spotify in his underwater lair. Like, oh, did the DoorDash come here? God.
Clagger is killed by shrapnel. Milo is impaled by a pipe.
Yeah, it's fucking gnarly, dude.
Yeah.
I was like, because
and then the ceiling falls on him.
Yeah, falls on them.
I know what Steve meant because up to this point, you're like, okay, I get it. Like they're going to get away. This is going to keep going. Eventually Silco will be defeated.
Coming of age
I
story.
like this show, but this is pretty typical, right? And then this happens and you're like, oh, this is some George Martin shit. I don't know what's going on. Oh, fuck. And Powder did it. It's not like just that they died, but like the little girl and like you see that she sees that she did it. And it's like, oh, mean. Oh. Yeah, it's brutal, man. And Marcus can see the explosion from a distance. Is partly his bed that he now has to lie in. And he's aware of that.
Somehow there's more blood on the money he has. Like, out, damn spot, out.
Nice reference.
Thank you.
Some Shakespeare. We can't say what, but it's a play.
Don't want to spoil Shakespeare for you guys.
No, it's bad luck to say Macbeth. Whatever, dude.
Oh, dude, you did it.
I did it because you didn't get the joke. I had to explain. I told you I'm Rickard Hale. Rick and Hale.
I lured you.
Vander wakes in the chaos. Deckard wakes. Silco gets up. And now Vander, a little too late, fights. He makes his own little gauntlets. He like bends a pipe or something to make fisty things. You know what I'm saying? And Vi's laying there stuck under the door. She sees her dead brothers and sees that it's Powder's bomb. She sees a little monkey there. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh, no. She did it.
And Silco stabs Vander, even though he's winning the fight against Shimmer Deckard. He gets stabbed in the back, quite literally, by Silco. And that's when we realize, I think, that Vander is the one that drowned him.
Yeah, they intercut the fight in the water.
And Vander...
Where he drowned.
Vander falls all the way down onto the Shimmer. And then Shimmervander comes up, kills Deckard, and sees like it's kill Silco or save Vi. And he opts for save Vi, obviously. They jump out of the building. He's been stabbed a bunch. The Shimmer's keeping him alive barely, but he kind of breathes his last breath and says, take care of Powder.
Aw.
No, I'm going to slap the shit out of her and leave.
I ain't gonna listen to this at all.
And Powder comes running out like the worst timing. Vi, it worked. It exploded.
It was so awesome.
It was gnarly. You should have seen it. Did you see it?
Hey, where's Milo?
I'm gonna show that punk what's up.
Yeah. And at this point, Vi says, "You did this," and then like Clagger's bloody glasses are sitting like in focus in the foreground. It's beautifully staged. And she starts crying. I only wanted to help, and she fucking slaps the shit out of her.
You are.
I think she punches her.
Oh, really?
I think she punches
Straight
her.
punches her in the face.
With
so.
the gauntlets.
Yeah.
She's dead.
You're a jinx. And Powder begs for her to come back.
You are like Papa.
I can't make it without you. I need you. And Vi takes a beat. She's just around the corner. She's going to get her sister back. She just needs to like, hey, my dad and my brothers are dead. Give me a sack.
Yeah.
But at that moment, Silco finds Powder and walks up, and he's got that knife, and the way that it's staged, you're like, is he going to fucking stab the kid? And after what happened, you're like, I guess. It's just crazy. And in fact, he might have meant to until she jumps and hugs him. But Marcus gets Vi, and for some reason, he's got fucking chloroform.
I'm here to save you. I'm saving you.
I knew this would come in handy someday.
So I don't know why I carry this. Grayson always hated it.
I was using it to clean my coins.
Yeah, maybe. But Silco's like, hello, little girl. Where's your sister? And then she hugs him violently. And he's like surprised by this.
She's not my sister anymore.
She left me. She's not my sissy anymore.
I hate her.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, okay. And he says, it's okay. We'll show them. We'll show them all. Oh, I gave myself chills. And that's the end of episode 3. Holy shit. Take a breath. After this, it's time to talk about our 3 favorite moments and the nomination that we're giving for best performance. But first, a quick word from one of our sponsors.
Hello, Stream Fiends, and a frosty welcome to the month of January. It's the start of a brand new year, and as we all set our resolutions and snuggle up to beat the chill, we want to take a moment to warm up our hearts by thanking the stars of our show, you, the listeners. Specifically, we want to give a super shout out to our super patrons who keep the heat on over here at the studio, and I much appreciate that because it's cold over here right now. So let's raise a hot cup of cocoa to our January heroes. Aubrey Carell, Daniel Pack, Nice Guy Eddie, Tulloon, Albus Stinkpot, Maddlestat, Susie Callahan, Anthony Corona, Jim X, Lady Trashley, Milady, Sean Myers, Just Liz Calabria, Mike from New Hampshire, Brett X, E. Scramo, Lil Tickler, Svento7, Jay Scramo, Bloffpum, AK Ashley Ray, Adam Busby, Big Butthorn, Jer Ladanowicz, Kaylee Sampson, Rabbit Dog in a Barbie Car, Elbander, Charlie Friday, Alexis Adler, Peaches, Emmy, Haley B, Joe Velez, Stanton Valentino, Trisha Bueller, Sun Loving Mortal, Suzanne Road, Jadinklage Morgoon, Kloop, Kalisha Reeves, Paula Garcia, Brenda, Aaron Armstrong, Kevin Strother, Ashley Powers, Thrift Creeper, Casey McCain, and of course, Enza. But again, thank you to all our supporters. Thank you for being our Winter Wonderland warriors. Your support makes every episode a snowtop peak we're thrilled to conquer. But enough cheese. Let's get back to the episode.
Guys, we forgot to do something very important. Now that we're back, I have to address it. We didn't give fun in-universe names for these segments yet.
True.
Has anybody been thinking? If you're
The Misery, I feel like needs to be on there somewhere.
we're just going to call them one Oh, the Misery.
Oh, the Misery.
Ope the misery.
The Misery.
If you've never listened to streaming things before, we always we do these same segments every time for every show that we cover, but we always name them something that relates to the property that we're discussing. I don't know, man. Like
We could call them the shimmers, the ones that really shined.
Yeah, I was going to
That's a
say
good
like
one, yeah.
performances that shimmer. I don't know.
Oh, that's nice. The Shimmer performance.
And then when we play the Taylor Swift song underneath.
The humdingers.
The Heimerdinger. Give somebody the Heimerdinger.
Oh, the Heimerdinger. I like that.
That's good.
5 minutes later.
So we had to workshop it real quick. We're going to call these our Shimmer Moments, the scenes that really transformed us. And our best performance is going to be the old Heimerdinger.
Good old Heimerdinger.
I hardly know her. You like it?
Classic.
We're going to give the Heimerdinger too.
Well, let's count down our top 3 moments first. Madison, what is your number 3?
I'm trying to find one. There are so many.
It's 3 episodes we got to do.
I know, which is it's hard to pick one. I would say my number 3 is probably when Vander alerted the kids to hide while the guard was going to look for them. Mm-hmm. It's just a fun,
stressful scene.
Oh, when he presses the button with the
yeah, and the guard is like double taking literally everything, but like is still not doing a good job at finding them.
Love it. Andy?
So I broke mine down. I picked one from each episode.
I like it.
So my number 3 is from episode 1. It's after the botched heist when Vi goes to encourage Powder and she's like, no, you're twice the person at half my age. And then she takes her out and she's like, hey, look, that's where Clagger tripped. And, we left him there because we thought it was funny. And you see that graffiti over there. And it's such good art design and setting design to have like the graffiti and then like the handprint sliding down. And then like the butt mark where he hit before he fell and stuff. I also love the little touch of like, she gives her a pipe to look through and then like points it at the things to look. That's just such a fun character, like sweet moment. But also the rabbit, and she's like, we all have bad days, but we stick together and stuff. I love the rabbit coming back and stuff. It's a sweet little moment for the two leads, and for it to end. That's like the last shot of them in the first episode. It's like the world's going to respect us someday. It's like, ooh, get chills about the setup for them,
Yeah. My number 3 favorite moment is from the first episode as well. It's the heist and the subsequent chase. Simply because the heist is a really great way to show the different personalities of these 4 characters. Like Milo's kind of annoying. Vi's, kicking down doors. She's impulsive and kind of brutish, but like good at heart. Clagger is sort of like a little bit more reserved, but he's like a real one who's always there. Powder's young and inexperienced, but she wants to, show what she's capable of. And even that little clip where like Milo picks up, it's like, oh, did anyone steal one of these? And without even looking at it, Powder's like, that's a nose hair trimmer. Like, you idiot. Like, it's just she's so smart. And then the subsequent chase, I just love, because that's what really kind of keyed me in. I was like, wow, the animation on here is so good. The physicality that they're able to portray is amazing. And that's my number 3. Kit, what's yours?
My number 3 is the show's opening. That it doesn't explain anything, but you just know that these kids have seen some shit, and you don't know who Vander is, but he looks like a bad motherfucker, but he wants to protect them kids. And I think it plays differently when you've seen the entire show a couple of times for sure. So maybe that's part of it, but it's just a really well done, like kind of crazy way to start this show. That's my number 3. Madison, your number 2.
My number 2 is your number 3, which is the opening. I love a moment where you can learn, or the scene is filmed in a way that so much about these characters without anything being said. And I think that's a common theme throughout the show. But similar to you, like how much, because we've seen the show, we know what happens. And I feel like revisiting this and seeing the shot with what we know is just kind of like a little extra love. Cause you're like, wow, like this really does have a foundation right from the beginning. But yeah, it's a very impactful scene, and I love that scene.
Awesome. Andy, your number 2.
My number 2 is from episode 3. It's when Powder does her manic crying after Vi leaves her.
Her big old temper tantrum. Yeah,
it's just like up to this point, like the animation's been great. It's been very pretty, whatever. And the direction's been awesome. But in this, I was like, oh, like they know how to like express human emotion in a way that I've never seen in an animation before. And like that was the most realistic portrayal of a kid losing all self-control I've ever seen. Like it was so well done.
Yeah.
My number 2 is the scene where Vander is taking Vi's place and turning himself in and being arrested by Grayson and Marcus, and Benzo's going to be left in charge. And then that whole turn happens where Silco shows up with roided out Deckard, and Grayson's killed, Benzo's killed, all that stuff, and they take Vander hostage. Because that was the first moment when I first saw the show. I'm thinking in my mind, okay, the city's a powder keg. Vander's being a real one. He's going to turn himself in, and it's going to suck for the kids, but they're going to have to like come into their own and maybe rescue him down the line or something. But then immediately the show's like, nope, dead. Like all these characters are just dead. And I at this point I was like, I don't know what's going to happen from here on out. Like the Silco guy seems like a huge major threat, and it's kind of scary the power he has. And poor Vi's like locked away in the room and she can't do anything about it. And it's heartbreaking. She's like crying. And then Echo comes out and he's also crying. It's the first of many heartbreaking scenes. And it's really well done.
Agreed. My number 2 is the yummy drink that Vander makes for Powder. I think it's Andy kind of talked about it most eloquently, but it's a really effective scene, kind of a moment in childhood that most of us have experienced. You're kind of devastated for reasons you don't even really understand, but like in your own kind of myopic, unimportant version of what's going on is really upsetting. Like they wouldn't let me go with them, or whatever. But even though there's like crazy shit going on. And Vander's attempt to something that you can kind of get a sense has worked many times before. And then his frustration and dismay that it's not working this time. What do you mean? I did it's Arnie Palmy, it always fixes everything. Your favorite straw. What do you mean?
It's a crazy straw.
It's a really, and the music that's going on and everything else that's happening in context. It's a fucking great calm before the storm moment. I love it. Madison, your favorite moment from the first 3 episodes, Act 1.
My favorite moment is the moment right after Vander dies and, Vi is ingesting all of like Milo, Clagger dying, Vander dying, and then Powder coming around the corner, very excited that like, she had this moment where, she believes that her invention, helped the heist of getting Vander back. And you just see I feel like as the audience, you're just so like, fuck, like you're wanting to root for Powder to like prove herself and, be on the level that Vi is at. And it's just very disappointing to see like how it all panned out. And then just also see it, Vi get very angry, because she's a human too. Like she can't always be like the big sister, being like, it's okay. Like, whatever, like she has these emotions. She's allowed to be valid in her anger. But then, Powder doesn't realize that, she was going to come back and save her. And it's just this moment of like, damn, like, you want these 2 characters to like really see their true intentions. And it's just like the way that they film it is just such a good way to like build that tension. And as the audience, you're rooting for these characters. And I love that scene. It's very emotional. And then to have it also connected to Powder running to Silco is like the end all be all. Cause like, that's all she has is also very disheartening. So, and it's such a good segue into who these characters are in the next set of episodes that we watch.
Awesome. Andy, you're number 1.
My number 1 is from episode 2, and it's that jukebox scene at the bar.
Oh, wow.
When he
Nice.
pours her the drink and gives her the straw. And it's like, that song's such a banger. I looked it up. It's an original for this show, an artist named Curtis Harding. So shout out to Arcane for introducing me to this guy. I listened to a bunch of his stuff, and it's fucking awesome. Like, this track is so fucking perfect for it. It's like this, like, late 50s soul gospel type bluesy song. It just fits the vibe so well, where it's like, the bar is closed, the family's hanging out there after the fact. He gives her little juice and stuff. He recognizes the rabbit that Vi had pulled down. And that's where he's like, oh fuck, like something's going on. Like if Vi went and got that for her, and then he realizes that she had sent the tube and stuff, and it's like intercut with doors being kicked in and stuff. And we cut to Vi sitting there all broody and stuff, waiting for the people to come. And it's like, oh, fuck, she's giving herself up. And it's such a good way to end that episode.
Steve.
My number 1 is Madison's number 1 as well. The final bit in this act where Powder and Vi kind of have their interaction. And because it's absolutely tragic. Because like we said earlier, Vander, Clagger, Milo, they all would have gotten out of there if Powder hadn't shown up and tried to help. But her intentions are so good and noble. She's just, she's just trying to help her family, and she already has this complex of like, you're not helpful. Like, don't you always mess everything up? And she's just trying to do good by her family, and like she has, in a perfect world, she has the right to try to protect her family, right? And so that's what makes it so tragic when she finally succeeds in her mind. Like all of her bombs never go off, and the one time it finally does, it ruins everything for everybody.
Yeah.
And what's even more tragic is what Madison talked about. The fact that, Vi has always been there for her, but she just lost her entire family. And it's because of her sister that she knows is well-meaning. And if she had walked away, had a moment, she would have come back and like been there for her. And we, as an audience, we know that for a fact. Because she wasn't counting on chloroform Marcus to be hiding in the shadows, that guy. This is what he does for fun on the weekends. Gotcha, I'm helping. And and it's so sad to see. And when Powder starts crying and like, please don't go, it's heartbreaking. Mm-hmm. And the fact that they don't get to come back and have that reconciliation, and Vi wasn't able to do what Vander told her to do before he passed away, is just so tragic. And that's just like, mwah. It's like dramatic chef's kiss. I'm in. I need to know what's going on for the rest of the show, because this is just so devastating. Where do they go from here? Mm-hmm. I love this moment.
Absolutely. My favorite moment, and you guys will see a theme throughout our coverage of this show. I'm obsessed with Vi, and specifically, I love her boxing,
her punchy
fighting style. My dad was an amateur boxer, and in a lot of my childhood, he would like show me how to punch, and I'd punch his hands, or we'd hit the heavy bag together and stuff. It's like something that's really special to me. And so her relationship with Vander, and my dad was kind of like a Vander. Like he was like this giant guy that had done all this shit that I didn't understand or know about, but I knew how other people vaguely feared and respected him. That's all I knew.
He ran the underworld.
He did. And
the lanes.
Andy knew my dad well. He was a kind of a scary guy, even though he was really friendly as well. And it's like, so whenever she like they did the animation's great, because like it's somebody who understands boxing, and she just fights in a really cool. Anyway, so this first scene where she's on the bridge, but like she's a fucking 17-year-old girl, and everybody's like, get out of the way, and she just wrecks all of them, and Silco's like, Jesus Christ, like I love the setup of all of it, and
that girl's baller.
What's about to happen is so impactful, but in that moment it's triumphant, and it's the last little bit of happiness we get before the show changes forever. That's my favorite moment of the first 3 episodes. With that being said, to whom are we going to gift the Heimerdinger?
Ooh, who's getting my award today?
That's right. I hardly know her. Madison.
You really did it.
Who's your favorite performance from these first 3 episodes?
It's really difficult to choose, I feel. But I landed on Powder. And so the voice of Powder is different because obviously it's a younger Powder. Mia Sinclair, I think it's Janice is the actress's name who plays young Powder. But I think just the range of emotion that Powder has to go throughout these first 3 episodes is pretty crazy. And so I think to be able to portray that level of emotion on all spectrums is very impressive. So I want to give it to young Powder.
Oh, great choice. Mm-hmm. Great choice. Andy.
Big same.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mia Sinclair, Janice, crushes it. She has to do so much. Mm-hmm. Everybody else, like Vander's just stoicism the whole way through, and Vi, is like the broody whatever. But young Powder's all over the place. She's like sweet. She's kind of sappy occasionally and like funny, and other times she's like morose when she has her freak out moments. All of it, she has to do so much, and yeah, she crushed it.
Yeah, I was thinking initially going in when I sat down to start watching this, I'm like, there is no way in which I don't give this to Haley Steinfeld, who plays Vi, because she is like the anchor of this entire show. But in this particular episode, I have to agree with you guys. It's young Powder, Mia Sinclair, Janice. Everything that Andy said, she's all over the place, but she has a very important job in these first 3 episodes. She has to immediately make the audience care and sympathize with this character. And it's important, like knowing what's coming next, like that's a very important job to do. And she pulls it off because like even when there's that scene where she's like losing herself and crying because like she's been left behind and she just wants to help. And like that is something I think not a lot of actors, and again, it's through the animation as well. But the way she's like crying and just like she's not even in control of her crying. It's incredibly well done, and like I think you have to give it to her for this first episode.
You know what? Are you going to shoot me?
I was
Madison
like,
just held up finger guns
what
to
are you
him.
gonna choose? No, I'm kidding.
No,
Free will.
You guys did bully and sway me. I think I am going to give it to Mia Sinclair Janess.
Really?
I am.
The first ever 4-person. We all live, everybody.
Let's go.
All First time it's the charm.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Immediate. Yeah, I think that's the perfect choice. What a good first episode of our Arcane coverage. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Please stick with us. The rest of our Arcane coverage, the other 5 acts, will be on patreon.com/streaming things. We're going to continue. So join us there for that. But hey, you'll also be privy to our Game of Thrones coverage. That's balls deep in the middle of season 4 right now, and a bunch of at least 2 a month, not random, but selected by our other patrons movies each month as well. And also ad-free episodes, access to our Discord, all kinds of good stuff over there.
So much good stuff.
We hope you guys love it. We know that we love doing it. That's all the time we have for right now, though. We have to go return some videotapes. My name is Kit.
My name's Madison.
I'm Andy.
And I'm C.
And this was Streaming Things, streaming Arcane.
Catch you in the lanes. Happy streaming.
Oh, the misery.
Anyway,
awesome.
that was just a silly story I thought of while I was taking a big old piss.
Post-credit scene?
Big old piss.
That's how we end the episode.
Yeah.
That's a story about me taking a big old piss.
Big old piss.